Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Dick Tharp Field on the campus of Normal Community High School. It's week 9 of the high school football season. It's the regular season finale here for the Normal Community Ironmen as they take on the Lions of Peoria High. Pleasure to have you along here tonight. Joel Swanson, Zach Knox-Doyle here from Normal Community High School on a beautiful fall evening. And Zach, the weather couldn't be any better. Two terrific teams on the field. We are really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this one. And like you said, the weather's very nice. I'm still able to be in a t-shirt, which is nice, but there's a little brisk breeze going through.
Yeah, Zach, you're going to regret that by the fourth quarter, I have a feeling. So the windows are open here in the press box, but it is a beautiful fall evening. Well, this is pretty much the Big 12 Conference Championship game. If Normal Community wins, they are the outright champions. They don't want to share the title with Peoria. And if Peoria High wins, they're going to declare themselves the Big 12 champions because they'll have beaten Normal Community. So this is pretty much the Big 12 Championship game here tonight between Peoria High and Normal Community, and we are looking forward to it. Zach, let's first of all talk about last week for the Ironmen. A nice win over Champaign Centennial. Got off to a terrific start in that contest and really cruised from there.
Yeah, if we look at last week, the Iron improved to 7-1, 7-0 in conference, still undefeated in conference play in that 49-6 victory at Champaign Centennial, and they started off hot. A 28-0 first quarter score. Kalen Taylor led the way. He had 2 touchdowns there. One was a nearly 70-yard reception from Kyle Beatty. And the Iron finished the game with over 400 total yards, 242 passing, which is the season high for Kyle Beatty. They had 2 forced turnovers, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and one thing that's been huge for the Ironmen is they have forced 6 turnovers in the last 2 games. They also held Centennial to 140 yards on 44 carries, so just about 3 yards per carry. The one thing the Iron need to look to improve on is Centennial did convert 5 of 6 of their 4th down opportunities. Peoria really likes to go for the 4th down, so that's something the Ironmen are really honed in on this week.
Yeah, and certainly we'll talk a little bit about Peoria, but let's first of all talk about the Lions last week, a 44-28 victory over Bloomington. The Raiders have had a really good season, Zach. They're at 6-2. They're heading for the playoffs, so that's an even more impressive win for Peoria High last week.
Yeah, them and Bloomington were tied at 2nd in the conference. They were both 1 game behind the Ironmen. Now Peoria is still 1 game behind after the victory. And the funny thing about this game is Peoria was down 20-14 at half. And after the 3rd quarter, they were up by double digits. They had 30 unanswered points. 22 of those were in a 3-minute stretch where they had recovered 2 of their onside kicks, as that's something the Peoria team loves to do. They don't kick it deep a lot. A lot of times they just go for onside kicks, and that's how they've been for years now. So they outscored them 22-0 in the 3rd quarter, 30-8 for the whole second half. The key players of that game was the tailback, Datarion Pollard, who had 230 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns, and their starting quarterback, Breon Green, had 3 total touchdowns. Both of those key players are juniors.
Yeah, and certainly a talented roster for Peoria High. Their head coach is Aaron Montgomery. Montgomery in his first season taking over what I guess a great term would be the legendary Tim Thornton. I mean, completely flipped and turned this Peoria High program around. Coach Thornton took over in the 2010-2011 season. The Lions were 3-6 in that season, and after that they went on a tear. And Zach, they play a unique style of football. You talked about the onside kick. Not just every once in a while, but predominantly onside kicking, going for 2-point conversions, going for 4th downs in their own territory. They want to outscore you. That's the concept behind Peoria High football. We talked to Coach Drengwitz this week, and it takes quite a bit of preparation to get ready for the Lions.
Yeah, it really does, and he talks about how they work on the hands team every day, getting ready for these onside kicks. And one thing about this Peoria team is they don't just do this for fun. They do this because they get success. Tim Thornton, he was the coach for 14 years, made the playoffs 8 of his last 11, which included a first-place state finish in 2016-17 and a second place in 2022-23, which was just a 1-point loss to Nazareth Academy, a very established program.
Absolutely. Tim Thornton won 72% of his games at Peoria High in his 14 years. Just to give you an idea, in the 14 years previous to that, Peoria High won 21% of their games. So, I mean, that is flipping a program around, no doubt about it, and Tim Thornton did a terrific job. But it is Aaron Montgomery's program now, and he has led the Lions to a 7-1 record. We'll talk about the 5A poll a little bit later on here in the broadcast. We'll talk about the 7A AP poll as well a little bit later in the broadcast as the Lions find themselves in the 5A poll. There'll be a 5A team tomorrow night when the Perrys come out for the playoffs. Normal Community is going to be in 7A. We'll discuss that as well as we get ready for Peoria High and Normal Community here from Dick Tharp Field tonight. Well, we had a chance to catch up with the head coach of the Normal Community Ironmen, Jason Drengwitz, earlier this week, and let's listen to what We are here with the head football coach of the Normal Community Ironmen, getting ready for week number 9. Well, Coach, just give us a summary of your thoughts on week 8, a nice victory over Champaign Centennial.
Yeah, Joe, I really thought that I know you'll probably get sick of me saying these things, but we had a really good week of practice in all 3 phases. And when you practice certain ways, those things will show up in games, whether good or bad. And I thought we had a really good week of practice, and that showed up on Friday night. I thought from the start, offensively, we were really explosive and dynamic. I thought we can control the special teams game again, and defensively, we kept the running game contained. The majority of the ground game was quarterback scrambles. So pleased with it. It probably clinched us. It clinched us a share of the Big 12 conference title. It probably clinched us a home playoff game. So we're really proud of that. But there's still definitely things that we got to clean up. We got to continue to get better in our caging of the quarterbacks so they don't get out as we continue to see athletic quarterbacks that can run and throw. And we got to tighten some things up in the back end secondary wise, because I think teams are going to continue to challenge us in the passing game. Because we've done such a good job stopping the run. So overall, I thought it was a good night. Got to play a lot. We got to play a lot of people. It was a dominating performance, which was we were very pleased to. But again, I thought that was a result of a really good week of practice, good week of prep.
Talk about Kyle's night. Very efficient, really good numbers for your quarterback.
Yeah, I think again he was outstanding all week at practice, and that came true and showed up on Friday night. He was effective, great decisions, extremely accurate with the balls that he threw. Guys are running good routes, hit great landmarks, and the ball was spread around really nicely to a bunch of different guys, whether it was Kalen, Marquand, Michael Mavek, Reed Hoover, Brady Wolf. I think Gavin Sheeler, all those guys caught balls, so that's when you know you're really being effective, and something that we got to continue to do. Kyle's played at a high level. I feel like he's gotten better each week. Which is just a credit to him and how he goes about his business and how he preps and how much film he watches and how much he dives into the game plan every week.
The Ironmen, we've had a few blowout wins that began as a close matchup, like West was 14-7, Danville 7-6, Bloomington we trailed. What made the difference in this game that saw the Iron jump out to that 28-0 first quarter lead?
Well, I think it was just a combination of all 3 phases of the game. We get a 3-and-out. To start the game, and I don't know if they had I don't think they had a very good punt, and then we hit Kalen on a pipe route through the middle, and then the defense. Again, I just think it was all about practice and how well we were and how we executed to start the game. I think sometimes in a game early on, if you don't execute early, that will kind of lead to the game at times maybe muddling at the beginning, but when you execute early at a high level, I think that allows you to jump on teams early and often. So again, I feel like that execution was a direct result of how we execute in practice. When you don't execute in practice, that will show up on Friday nights. When you do, it does the same thing. And I also think all year long, Zach, our mindset has been very good going into those games. We've been very focused, attention to detail. On Thursday in our run-throughs and Friday, everything leading up to the game. So I've been very proud of this group because it's easy. Like going there wasn't a ton of atmosphere. They had been on fall break all week. Now it was senior night, and they had a decent amount of fans. So you got to kind of sometimes generate your own juice and own energy. And I feel like our guys have really done a good job of that all year.
Yeah, Friday night was another excellent defensive performance for the Ironmen. They did give up 140 rushing yards, but Centennial rushed a total of 44 times. So why did the Chargers continue to run against your strong defensive line, and how did you keep them in check?
Well, I think other than a couple fits here and there, I thought we defended the run really well, and I think a decent amount of those rushing yards were on quarterback scrambles. I would say on defensively, our front six, our front seven is probably the strength of our defense, and we have executed our game plans at a really high level. Also, we've tackled really well all year, and we've got a lot of guys running to the football, making tackles, which has been effective. And as teams have tried to run and we've been successful at stopping, and I think what you're going to continue to see is teams try to maybe throw the ball a little bit more on us and try to take advantage of that. So again, defensively, we've had a bunch of great weeks of practice. We've stacked it together. We've continued to play physical and tackle well. We've executed the game plan. We got a lot of guys around the football, which is always a good recipe to stop the run and play well defensively.
Yeah, we've talked about offense, defense. One other thing I wanted to touch on, the Iron only had one penalty for 5 yards, which is really impressive.
Yes, you need to be asking that question when we have not that many penalties.
That's an exceptional thing to see from your team as the season wraps up and you approach the playoffs. How have the Iron cleaned up their penalties? It seems like it has gotten better as the season's progressed. And how will this continue to benefit them this week, as it is a tough Peoria squad?
Oh, not only do we have one penalty, the one penalty was on the first play of the game. We were offsides on the kickoff. So if you think about that, we didn't have a penalty the rest of the game. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. I think we've not seen us having those penalties in practice, whether it's false starting or jumping or holding and things that we really work on to get better. I also think probably at times, depending on the closeness of the game, that can impact how many penalties are being thrown. We'll see this week playing a really good opponent for a game that means a lot. Hopefully we can keep that trend going, because that's a really big deal. You know, only if BJ was here to talk about that as well.
Well, Coach, you get ready here for Friday night now. Peoria comes to Normal Community. Peoria is one of the most unique teams to prepare for in the state. Talk about maybe how it's different preparing for the Lions than it is for other opponents.
Well, you know, they are unique, and what makes them unique is, one, how multiple they are offensively, what they do defensively, and then the challenges they present special teams. And so when you're unique in those ways, it requires more time of preparation, which is a challenge when you're limited. You don't have the amount of time like you have in college with meeting times. You know, defensively, they're doing some different things than what they've done in the past. Still with their front, they're not everybody up all the time. They're still playing cover zero, so and bringing pressure. So that changes how you got to protect. So you got to really be shored up in the pass pro game. A lot of your route concepts now have to be man beaters, rub routes, pick routes, things like that, which we're not working all the time because you don't see a lot of cover zero from teams. Right. You see some, typically in the red zone or down in distance, but not all the time regardless. Offensively, they're very multiple formationally. They're running 3 wide receivers in, they're putting extra linemen in. Sometimes you're 2 tight ends or 2 linemen. Sometimes it's 2 extra linemen and an H-back who's a lineman. So you have to be ready for those personnel groupings, because they're going to try to take advantage of their personnel to run or pass the ball against you. So that provides a lot of challenges, being ready for their formations. And if we personnel match them, which we try to do, last year we would match their personnel, and then late they would change out of that personnel, which in college football you wouldn't be able to do, because we'd be able to match. The referees would stop. In high school, they don't do that.
Yeah.
So now we have to also prepare if we get caught in the wrong personnel. So if we're in a heavy package defensively and they change late, how do we defend a spread formation from that heavy package? So that's challenging. And then special teams wise, the biggest challenge is their onside kicking all the time, and how they're trying to get extra possessions for their team. Now this year they're kicking it deep a little bit more, but I would fully expect them to onside kick, so that requires us to rep that your hands team every day, which we typically don't do. We typically rep hands only on Thursday. Well, this week we rep it every single week. And then on kickoff, our kickoff, they've got dynamic returners that can catch the ball and score from anywhere. If you go back and look at the history of our game, we lost to them in 22, I think by 28 points, maybe 35. And they recovered 4 onside kicks or 5 onside kicks that all resulted in touchdowns. And then last year, we handled that well. They got 1 onside kick from a look we hadn't seen, and they get that onside kick, and what they do, they go right down the field and score. So we really I think that's a crucial part of the game, and it just takes time to prepare for them. And they're talented, they're big, they're fast, they're athletic, and they're really well coached in what they do. So they just present a lot of challenges, but it's definitely one we're looking forward to.
Certainly a chance to win an outright conference championship. I'm sure something that you talk about a little bit, and one of those goals. So especially for the seniors, maybe what are their thoughts going in, maybe to achieve that first goal, maybe on that pecking order?
Yeah, I think now we're to the point where you can actually specifically talk about winning an outright Big 12 conference championship. I think, yeah, it's great to share it, and I think if you talk to all our seniors, they have no interest, and we don't really have any interest in sharing a conference championship. So I think the motivation is high for that. It's something we take a lot of pride in here, that we're the defending Big 12 conference champions, and we want to do it again. It is the first and foremost goal that we have throughout the year, but once we're out of week one, all we talk about is 1-0 and staying in position to have an opportunity to do that. And now that we're to week 9, we finally have that opportunity to win an outright Big 12 conference title. It's awesome that it's going to be at home in front of our own fans. It's awesome that it's against a really good opponent that we have a tremendous amount of respect for. It's going to be a big challenge. We're going to have to play well, but I know we're excited, looking forward to it, because it is the first goal that we set for ourselves every single year.
Yeah, Peoria has put up nearly the same number of points as the Iron in conference matchups this season. What makes their offense so special, and what will be the keys to stop such a dominant offense? They do go for fourth quite often, correct?
Correct, they do. So I would say it's 3 things that makes them really good offensively. Number 1, they're really good up front. They can block extreme. They're really physical at the point of attack. Number 2, they have dynamic playmakers all over the field, from quarterback to running back to wide receiver. And then 3, they're just really multiple formationally, and so you have to be prepared on how to align and fit against that. And in general, their I guess the 4th thing would be their schemes are really good. They do what they do, and they do it really, really, really well. So they present a lot of challenge based on formation, personnel, scheme, how physical they are, and we got to be ready to meet those challenges defensively, which I think our kids are excited about and will have the opportunity to do.
So after Friday, obviously, it's playoff time. Mm-hmm. So you've been down this road many times. So what, after you know everything that's going to happen in front of you, who you're going to play, what does the prep look like then for your staff? Is it any different than it is week by week?
Well, one, I would say we haven't even thought about that. Like, everything this week has been 100% focused on Peoria High and winning on Friday, and we'll get to that on Saturday, hopefully. Saturday, that day is always kind of a nice day because you don't know who you're going to play. There's no film to prep. There's nothing to watch. You can kind of take a deep breath and relax, and we get together with our staff and families to watch the pairings. The biggest thing that it does, it just pushes back your prep. We typically meet as an offensive staff on Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. and defensively at 7 p.m. That'll just push everything back to the evening because we probably won't get filmed till late Saturday night, and got to have time to break it down. So then all our meetings will be in the evening, and then also depends on when we decide to play, whether you play on Friday or Saturday. But we'll start thinking about those things on hopefully maybe Friday night around 10 o'clock or Saturday morning. We'll still bring our kids in on Saturday morning and do some different things, but hopefully we're in a position that we're 8-1 and we're a high seed in the playoffs, and we'll see who shows up. I'm not a big one. I don't track. Like, I don't watch the pairings and try to project. I know lots of people love to do that, kind of like the NCAA brackets throughout the year. But hey, whoever will play, will show up and play, and it's going to be a good opponent regardless in 7A.
I mean, a lot of energy on the field, both in the crowd and your team. So really, ultimately, what do you want to see from your team on Friday night?
Well, I want to see us play with enthusiasm, energy, and emotion, because it is a big deal and it's fun. It's a great opportunity for our kids, and not every team or every player gets to play where, hey, week 9 you're playing a great opponent with a chance to clinch a conference title at home, and we need to embrace that and be excited about it. Offensively, I want to see us execute our pass protections against their front and win our one-on-one matchups with our wide receivers and run the ball effectively. Defensively, I want to see us be able to align correctly to all their formations that they're going to present. Hopefully we'll get a feel of what they want to do throughout it, and then just play hard and play physical and do all the little things that we started doing in June. really, if you go back and look, and anytime we're making mistakes, typically it's stuff that we, fundamentals that we started doing in June. And I want to see us be energetic, emotional, but keep those emotions in check so they don't deter negatively from us. So that's a lot, but when you play a good opponent, they just present all those different challenges to us. But I definitely want our players to enjoy the excitement of playing home. It feels like we barely played at home this year in general, so it should be fun.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time. We wish you the best of luck tomorrow night.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
That's the head coach of the Normal Community Ironmen, Mr. Jason Dringwitz. We'd like to thank Coach Dringwitz for joining Zach and I every single week to preview Ironman football. Can't think of a better representative of the football program and also Normal Community High School. Well, Zach, we're getting ready for the kickoff here. I know you've been looking forward to this game all week long. First of all, Zach, talk a little bit about some past years here in the conference and also the Lions and the Ironmen.
Yeah, so if we start here looking between the Lions and the Ironmen, Peoria joined the Big 12 in the 2014-15 season, so this is actually the 10-year anniversary for them, the 7th game that they've played Community, and it is actually tied. Peoria has won 3 of them, Community has won 3 of them. Last year, Community took them down 63-42. In 2022-23, the year that Peoria was second in state, they won 64-30, which was the worst loss of the season for Community. 21 saw a very exciting game where Community won 42-40. Then Peoria took the year after that by 14. Community took the year after that with an astounding 47-point victory. And Peoria won in 2015 with a 20-point victory. So it's been very back and forth. Every year it's been a win, loss, and if it actually keeps going with that narrative, it would be a loss here tonight.
Well, we hope not. We hope the Ironmen are up to the task here. It's going to be a challenge, though. Peoria High's got a very good football team. And, Zach, as we kind of looked at recent years in the Big 12, it's pretty much been Normal Community. It's been Peoria High. It's been Normal West. A few other teams sprinkled in every once in a while, but those have been the 3 big heavy hitters in the conference.
Yeah, so the Ironmen have 25 conference titles, and it looks like we are going to look at the national anthem.
We're going to take a quick break here for our national anthem. Here at Normal Community High School tonight. And Zach, we were just talking about past years in Big 12 football, especially recent years, and how it's been Normal Community, Normal West, Peoria High. They've really been the dominant teams, and here we are again with the Lions and the Ironmen playing for a conference championship.
Yeah, if we just go through the years here like we kind of just did for those games, starting here in 2016, the Ironmen were second in the Big 12 conference with Peoria being first. 17 and 18 saw the Ironmen win both years, and 2019 was a tie between Community, Peoria, and West, all at that top spot. 21, the Ironmen saw a first place finish. In 22, the Ironmen saw a fourth place finish. West was first, Peoria was second, and then last year the Ironmen were first in conference, which means the Ironmen have outright won the Big 12 in 4 of the last 6 years and have had at least a share of it in 6 of the last 7 years, because they do have at least a share of it here this year.
Yeah, and looking to make it 5 outright conference championships in 7 years. That is quite a run for Normal Community in the Big 12. And we'll talk about all of the playoff stuff. Obviously, the pairings coming out tomorrow night. We do know Normal Community will be in 7A. Peoria High will be in 5A. Who knows who they're going to play? And one of the things when we talked to Coach Drengwitz here this week, we brought up the playoffs, and he was 100% focused on what was happening on this field tonight. He knows how good Peoria High is.
Yeah, he was very focused. Every time that we talked to him and, like, we kind of brought up the playoffs, he was like, it's week by week, which is exactly true. It's week by week. This week it's Peoria. We're focused on them. And then he says, once it comes around to Saturday and we find out who our opponent is, then we'll focus on them, and I just love that approach.
Absolutely. And Zach, you wanted to talk about the quarterbacks a little bit, maybe similar pathways, rising into the varsity with kind of these two teams playing quite often.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool history with the quarterbacks. If you go back 2 years before, Community's starting quarterback got injured in week 2 or 3, and Kyle Beatty made his first start 2 seasons ago against the Peoria Lions, which was that 64-30 Lions victory. And last year, the starting quarterback for the Lions this year made his first start ever. Breon Green, who's now a junior, made his first start ever as a sophomore last year. They had a 3-year starter that was very dominant, and it surprised us because I remember we were announcing it, and then all of a sudden we were like, that is a different quarterback than we thought was going to be starting.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you talk about Kyle and his first start against Peoria High. Maybe of all the teams on the schedule, that'd be the last team you would want to have as a sophomore be your starting quarterback in his first game, just because of all of the different things that Peoria shows you on the defensive end. Lining up 11 players straight across the field. Everything you're not going to see any other week, there it is. And boy, Kyle handled it very well, and he has handled it the rest of the way here into his senior year.
Yeah, and you got to think it's got to kind of play on your emotions because you're expecting to get the ball back after a kickoff. But they do an onside kick, and in that game, they recovered, Drengwitz said, 4 or 5 of their onside kicks. So that's 4 or 5 times that Beatty is getting ready to go out on the field, getting all his emotions riled up. Like, it is his first start, and he's just got to sit right back down.
Yeah, that's got to be interesting. And the onside kick, and Coach Drengwitz talked about this during the week, Peoria used to do it all the time, and now it's some of the time, and they have a very good kicker who can pooch it short, he can onside kick it. If you are on the field, you have to be ready for the football to come to you. If you're up, back, wherever you're at, in between, you've got to be ready because they do an outstanding job of putting pressure on you. And I think that's the number one most valuable thing about their system is it is 100% pressure on the opponent all the time.
Yeah, my preview for this game, that's really what I focused on. I focused on their special teams, how exceptional that kicker is, how exceptional everybody is that really goes into that process of special teams. And their special teams is what makes them special. That is their big strength, and especially this year, I think it's really smart. In past years, we had always expected them to onside kick. This year, they might not onside kick as much, which makes you think you have to be ready for everything.
Yeah, it should be really interesting. And every time that we do get to a kickoff, we're going to be wondering, well, where's the ball going to go? And I'm sure the Ironmen are as well. Normal Community is taking the field here at Dick Tharp Field, and they are ready to go. This is week 9. This is the end of the road for the regular season. And Zach, it doesn't feel like it was too long ago. You and I were hitting in the steamy early September games. Normal West had come here, Urbana had come here, and here we are. It's the finale for the regular season.
Yeah, I think the first week I was probably sweating a little bit. I think it was like 80, 85. And now, well, I said it was 55 at the start of the night, and I'm starting to get a little scared. I've had goosebumps a few times. I'm not wearing a sweatshirt. Like you said, the windows are open, but this is the kind of weather that I love, and I think the players love it when everything's changing. You're getting into the meat of the season. It is week 9, the last regular season game, preparing for playoffs. And how perfect is it that this ends up being the Big 12 championship on the last game of the season. That's just perfect.
And just like Zach has done all year long, it's a pink out here at Normal Community. He's got his pink shirt on. He is ready to roll, and that's why you didn't wear a sweatshirt today, right? You wanted to show off the pink T-shirt here because you are all for the Ironmen and definitely blending in with your senior class.
That is actually true. I thought about wearing a brown sweatshirt. I'm kind of wishing I wore a brown sweatshirt, and, you know, maybe I could have looked like like strawberry ice cream and then like chocolate ice cream.
There you
and, like,
go.
That goes well together. But
Absolutely.
I didn't think that far.
And if anybody can pull it off, Zach, you are the guy. Well, here we go. Looks like Normal Community is going to kick the ball off here. Welcome into Dick Tharp Field. We are excited to bring you this one here tonight on the Ink Spot. Brad Bovenkirk in charge of the entire operation. Bella Green as well, Malachi McCool, and Lenore Rivas is running all the sound equipment for us tonight. We appreciate everybody who has helped out on the Ink Spot broadcast throughout the year. And if you like what we're doing on the Ink Spot here at Normal Community, go to the website, give a donation. All of that money goes to the Ink Spot and the journalism program here at Normal Community. It's more than just print journalism. It is everything from video content to what you're seeing on the field tonight and everything going on behind the scenes. Well, here we go, and the Ironmen are going to kick it out of the end zone. So it's going to be a touchback, and Peoria High will get the football for the first time as Will Castro does what he's been really doing all year, which is kicking the ball into the end zone and making opponents start with that touchback to start the contest.
Will Castro has been exceptional, and that 71-point performance by the Ironmen just 2 weeks ago, Will Castro went 9 for 9 on extra points, didn't miss a single one. The consistency he provides for this program is exceptional.
Breon Green is the quarterback for the Peoria High Alliance, and they will have the ball first. They have scored more points than any other team in the Big 12 so far this year. The Lions are prolific on the offensive end, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is. Handoff up the middle and sneaking through for about 5 yards on that first carry there, and that was Deterion Pollard there, the junior running back.
And as I mentioned, Pollard had 230 rushing yards last week. He also had 39 carries, so he is a pivotal part of their offense. They love to run the ball, and that's how they saw success against Bloomington.
About 5 yards there. Here's a simple out to the far side, and that one's going to be caught right there and going to be down. It's going to be a first down. The catch is by Jalen Rayford, so a 6-yard pitch and catch right there as Breon Green has his first completion of the contest.
You know, we were talking pregame about all the wide receivers they had, and I had mentioned 4 different wide receivers, and you brought him to my attention. It just seems like they have so many options on offense.
Here's the handoff to Pollard up the middle. He'll go off the left side this time and pick up about 4 yards there on first down. And the one thing you know about Peoria High is they're not going to take a whole lot of time to get the play off. It is going to be pace, pace, pace from the Lions. They are big up front, and Zach, they are big every year at that offensive line position.
Yeah, they are very big. They have Jaquarius Green. He is 6'3", 385 pounds, and just a junior.
Yeah, he's pretty easy to pick out there. As here's a handoff off the left side, and picking up, it looks like a first down, as the football there was with Kendall Netters that time, the senior, picks up a first down there for the Lions, and they're moving the football here to start the game.
They have so many options on offense, and another thing that they do is they like to change formationally, something you can't do in college. You can't change it up once you see what the defense is. They like to load the box and then switch out their players to go wider.
Here's a pass now again to Rayford on the far side, and he's going to pick up close to 10 yards there, maybe close to another first down. So far we've seen that short passing game to Rayford, the running game with Pollard, and Peoria moving the football right down the field.
Yeah, and they are going fast, and something a lot of pro teams do, they're going to the same guy. They're going to Rayford a lot, and that makes the other team kind of forget about TQ Webb, another big receiver for them.
Pollard now, he got jammed up at the middle pretty good right there, able to squeeze ahead for about 3 yards. That's his third carry already of the contest. He's got 12 yards on three carries. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 now here for Peoria High at the Ironmen 45-yard line.
Yeah, that's what the Iron want to see from their linemen. A.J. Montoya was able to come down on the tackle there. You also have Aramis Simmons on the line, Kellen Ogston, lots of great talent.
Again, up the middle now, it looks like Pollard got another carry right there, slamming into the line.
Yeah, I'm surprised they went with Pollard there again right after he didn't really have much of a gain on the last play. They got a 3rd and 5 here.
Yeah, and don't get too excited if you're an Ironmen fan because they're going to go for it on 4th down. So they've got 2 shots here. Easy decision for them in normal community territory. 3rd down and 5 here now for the Lions.
Yeah, they might run it again here. As you mentioned, it is 4 downs. So if they got 5 yards on those first 2, it's 3rd and 5 here. I wouldn't be surprised if they run.
Pollard was the lone back there as Green is going to take off now, and he's going to be close to a 1st down. He's got it. 6-yard pickup that time by Breon Green, and the Lions have another 1st down in normal community territory. Give him a gain of 6.
He is exceptional. He had a game this year with 3 rushing touchdowns, and I am talking about the starting quarterback, Breon Green. He had a game with 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns this year.
Green will keep this one, cuts it back inside. The ball's loose on the field. I do believe the Lions have it. That one was knocked out that time after a gain of about 2 yards by Green. That popped out of there, but none of the orange jerseys could get on top of it in time. Zach, I'm not exactly sure who got a helmet on that football. A.J. Montoya was in on the play down there for the Ironmen, but boy, that ball came shooting out of there.
That was super fast, and I'm not sure who did it either. And I was thinking more punching it out. That just came right out. And great job by Peoria just getting right on top of that ball.
2nd and 8 now. Green's going to keep it again up the middle. He's got close to a 1st down, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down here now. The Lions have had Green now keep the football the last couple times. They were running Pollard, but the Lions have already run 8 running plays already on this drive. They've only thrown it twice, and we're seeing Peoria high football.
And all that does is open up their passing game. They are a very multifaceted team offensively, so I will be expecting a lot from the passing game as well. Starting off with this run-heavy offense is to open up everything for Peoria.
3rd and 2 now, and Green faked it there, and he'll be wrestled down for a loss. A 2-yard loss that time, as it looked like maybe the first option was a throw, maybe the run-pass option that time wasn't there, and A.J. Montoya was able to step in and make the tackle. So here we go, 4th down and 4. Great chance for the Ironmen to get off the field now on 4th down. Clock's at 7:13 to go here in the 1st quarter, and the Ironmen have yet to even see the football. Green now, shotgun formation. Man goes in motion. Green now back to pass. Looking here to the near side. Has a man wide open at the 20. He's got it at the 10. He'll be knocked out of bounds at the 10-yard line. 1st down, Peoria. Gain of 21 yards.
And that was TQ Webb right there. I talked about him earlier. He is normally regarded as their wide receiver 1. Somebody that Drangwitz said it feels like he's been there for 8 years, even though he is obviously still on the team, so it's impossible he's been there for 8 years, but he's just so good.
And it got down to looked like about the 12, and this is Pollard again in the middle. Really nowhere to go. We'll actually call it the 14. Maybe a gain of about a yard that time for Deterion Pollard. As good job by normal community rallying up on that play. 1 yard gain there for the Lions. We'll actually give them 2. 2nd down and 8 now for Peoria. 6:34 to go 1st quarter, and the Lions not just moving the ball down the field, they are milking away this 1st quarter clock.
Yeah, the Ironmen have done a great job of stopping the run the whole year. They've only given up 2 rushing touchdowns, and they're continuing to do well at that.
Back to pass again. It's going to be Webb who's going to catch the ball right around the 7-yard line. So a gain of about 5 yards there. As Breon Green now has yet to have an incompletion in the game. Webb has his 2nd catch. He's got 2 catches for 22 yards. He went out of bounds to stop the clock. So now 2 downs for Peoria to pick it up. They have a 3rd down and 4. The ball on the normal community 7-yard line. The Ironmen haven't trailed since the Kankakee game a few weeks ago. Handoff up the middle and pounding away again at that defense. Looked like somebody besides Pollard got that carry.
Kendall Netters.
That was Netters that slammed in the line right there for a gain of about 2. So it's going to ring up about a 4th and 2 now here for Peoria High. Clock under 6 minutes to go here in the 1st quarter. Peoria High converted a 4th and 4 a few moments ago, and now trying to convert a 4th down and 2. Big play early in the contest. Netters takes the snap, handoff to Pollard, and he will find the end zone. Touchdown, Peoria High. Pollard goes in from 5 yards out, and Peoria High is on the board. 6-0 Lions. Boy, they took the ball right down the field on the Ironmen.
Yes, they did, and it does look like there's an injured Ironman on the field there. We will figure out who that is. It looks to be number 7, Aramis Simmons.
Getting some help from the trainers right there. And just to give you an idea on that particular drive, Peoria ran 16 plays on that drive right there alone. And they moved the ball down the field for a touchdown. They got Breon Green was 4 for 4 for 40 yards. Terrion Pollard had 6 carries for 20. Kendall Netters, 2 carries for 8. And Breon Green had 4 carries for 12 yards. Zach, they spread it out beautifully to march down the field for their opening touchdown. Now, exactly what we talked about, they'll go for the 2-point conversion here. And we're going to have a false start, it looks like, here against Peoria, as coming in is the sophomore quarterback, Tyson Ward here is in the game now for Peoria High. That'll back them up 5 yards here. So we're going to try this 2-point conversion from the 8-yard line now.
That's exactly what Peoria does. They keep you on your toes. We had no idea what to expect. They just put another quarterback in there on that 2-point conversion, and I'm sure that's something community wasn't necessarily expecting. As we talked about with Drangwitz, Peoria just likes to pull out new stuff every game.
Now back to pass now is Ward looking for Webb in the end zone. It is incomplete, so Normal Community is able to hold. So Peoria off to a nice start here. They lead Normal Community 6-0. And Zach, what did you see on that opening drive for the Lions?
Well, first of all, I want to talk great coverage there from Marquand Gary, not letting that ball get through to TQ Webb. He did partly get a hand on that football, but I'm pretty positive Marquand also did as well. On that drive, I saw Peoria just wear down the iron. They took off over 6 minutes on the clock, which we have not seen on an opening drive this year. A lot of times the score is usually like 21-0 at this 6-minute mark. It's 6-0 Peoria. They did a great job of running the ball, and that also opened up the passing game for them, and have really just kept community on their toes. They don't have one specific thing that they do. They are very strong in all facets of the game, and here we're going to see an onside kick, something that you don't see very often either. So they're just going to keep the Ironmen on their toes all game, and I am all for it.
Yeah,
Very
I'll tell you what,
exciting.
and the problem for Normal Community is if you don't get the onside kick, you might not see the ball in the first quarter. So these become pivotal, especially when you've already given up a score here to start the contest. Well, here we go, and they're going to pooch it this time. And an up man's going to take it for the Ironman at the 30, going to run it to the 40, and he is going to be brought down right around the 45-yard line. As I think that was Xavion Lashley that time who got that. Nope, that was Cole Kretzinger who was able to bring that one back there for the Ironman. And boy, if you're going to pick one guy, if Normal Community is going to pick a guy to get the ball on the kickoff, Cole is a great option for them, getting the ball all the way out to the 45-yard line.
Yes, he is, especially since this year a lot of times we've seen Taylor getting it, we've seen Gary getting it. They're not going to be here next year, but who is? Kretzinger will be. Kretzinger also had 75 yards on just 4 carries last week for a touchdown. He had a 55-yard carry, which was the touchdown. So Cole is a very solid running back, and he does a great job returning as well.
Well, here we go. 5.5 to go. First quarter. Normal Community trails Peoria 6-0. Beatty takes the pass. He's got a man downfield. It's Marquand Gary. Looked like he got held that time. And no call by the official as Marquand. And yet, as Coach Drangwitz said during the week, it will be all man coverage on the backside. Peoria really doesn't give a whole lot of safety help back there like we see with a lot of teams. So they're going to come after you up front. They're going to match up with you on the backside, and they're going to kind of see what happens from there. But it looked like Marquand kind of got held up a little bit by the defensive back.
Yeah, Darion Mays is on Marquand.
There we go. It's Kalen Taylor. Taylor's going to pick up a first down and keep on going right there, as Kalen Taylor's going to pick up 12 yards there on first down. Kalen has had an outstanding season, and Zach, just talk about the number of touchdowns alone for Kalen Taylor has been unbelievable this year.
Kalen Taylor has had 15 rushing touchdowns, 4 receiving, 2 punt returns for a total of 21 total touchdowns in 8 games. That's nearly 3 touchdowns a contest, and he hasn't played the second half in half of those contests.
Oh, here we go now, 1st and 10 for the Ironmen. Again, pressure. Beatty looks to go up top for Marquand Gary, who can't quite haul it in. Good coverage downfield that time by Peoria, and Kyle Beatty misses on his first 2 attempts as we see the Ironmen trying to go downfield to take advantage of the man coverage, Zach. The hard part about that is Peoria is bringing a number of players up front, and Kyle's got to get rid of it fast. And that's the whole scheme that Peoria uses. Pressure on the front side, man-to-man on the backside.
And during what's said, even though they play man-to-man, they practice this all week.
Here's a handoff now to Taylor off the right side, and he'll pick up a couple of yards right there. Bring up a 3rd down now here for Normal Community at the Peoria 41-yard line, as that was the 2nd carry for Taylor on the night.
A matchup to keep an eye on all game is going to be Marquand Gary and De'Arion Mays here. Mays is a junior, 6 feet, and he's done a great job, especially on that last play when Beatty looked to Marquand, of really keeping Marquand contained. And this is going to be a very fun matchup to watch today.
Yeah, and you look at wherever Marquand goes, Darion goes as well. Mays, the 6-foot junior, and we'll see if the Ironmen get across the top again. Here's a handoff now to Taylor off the left side, and he'll find the 35-yard line. Now you talk about a big early play in this contest. That's going to bring up 4th down now here for Normal Community. It is 4th down and 3. We talk about pressure that Peoria puts on you. You don't convert this here, you're giving that ball right back to the Lions here. So 4th and 3, this is big.
This is a very big play. I'm going to be interested to see if the Iron pass it or go for the run here.
And I see they're looking at what Peoria is bringing up front. Peoria's got a lot of guys near the line of scrimmage, and it is just Marquand and Mays out here on the near side. 4th down and 3 now for the Ironmen. Handoff, Kalen Taylor's got the 1st down. He almost burst that one through right there. 1st down, Normal Community. Taylor's got 8 yards there, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Ironmen. Clock down to 3:15 to go here in the 1st quarter. Peoria High leads 6-0.
Yeah, we are seeing lots of Taylor today. He has had 4 rushes for 28 yards, and just like we've seen all season, Taylor is dominating.
Yeah, it certainly is. Already got 28 yards now in the contest. Beatty now rolling out. Going to find Marquand Gary, threw it a little bit too high. And after just the exceptional performance last week, where I do believe Zach Kyle was 14 out of 16, 242 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now 0 for 3 on his first 3 passes tonight. That means that Kyle only had 2 incompletions last week, already 3 here this evening. That one just a little bit over the head of Marquand Gary. Now 2nd and 10 here for the Ironmen.
We talk about those 4 touchdowns. That was with 0 interceptions. Beatty has only thrown 2 all season.
2nd and 10 now for Normal Community. Everybody up for Peoria in the front. Beatty now back to pass, dropping the ball down the middle. Kalen Taylor's got the 5. Touchdown, Ironman. Kyle Beatty to Kalen Taylor, 27 yards. And how about the first completion of the night as Kalen Taylor takes it in again. And Zach, that is touchdown 22 on the season for Kalen Taylor.
Yes, it is number 22 for Taylor there. And it looked like they were going to get a shoestring tackle at about the 7-yard line. And Taylor just kept on running. That's why he spent so much time in the weight room working on those strong legs, and he was able to run that one home. It's tied up. Here's the extra point from Will Castro, who has been incredibly consistent this year. Here we go.
Let's see if he can knock it through to give the Ironman the lead. Kick up, and that one looked pretty good. He missed it off to the left. How about that? We stay 6-6. I can't remember the last time Will missed an extra point, but there it is. So 6-6 tie, 2:48 to go first quarter. And Zach, it's just another Normal Community Peoria High game. Back and forth we go. It's kind of almost like a game of pinball sometimes here. Back and forth it goes. And we'll see if both these teams can keep up the scoring here this evening. What a drive for the Ironmen, though. Great answer. And the big play, 4th and 3. If Peoria High gets a stop there, kind of changes the momentum, the Ironmen will get Kalen Taylor off the right side for a first down, and then they find the end zone on a 27-yard touchdown pass from Beatty to Taylor.
Yeah, that was an exceptional play, and you talk about the back and forth. It has been the definition of back and forth between these two squads, going win for loss every year that they've played each other, and Community now has 3 wins. Peoria has 3. This game will decide who takes the top spot between these two great franchises.
Yeah, and the other thing that we haven't really discussed is that the winner of this game is almost guaranteed a first-round playoff game. The loser of this game, and you're going to be looking through the bracket to figure out if you got a first-round home game or not. So that's the other thing. At 8-1, it's pretty much a guarantee you're playing at home. At 7-2, well, it's pretty much anybody's guess at that point whether or not you're getting a home game. So both of these teams would like to assure themselves to be playing on their home field in round 1.
And I'd love for the Ironmen to be playing at home too. Then we get to announce it.
Absolutely. Yep. So you and I are also cheering for a first-round home game next Friday or Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We'll see if the Ironmen can do a little better job defensively. Peoria drove the football 75 yards and 16 plays on their first drive of the contest. 80 yards on 16 plays in their first drive of the contest. Let's see if the Ironmen can stand up a little bit better defensively here. 1st and 10, Breon Green, 4 for 4 for 40 yards on the first drive, and he is looking deep down the far side, and it will be incomplete as he overshot the intended receiver. And so far, Jalen Rayford has been the number 1 target here, Zach, as Green has 4 completions, 2 of them to Rayford, the other 2 to TQ Webb. So Rayford was the intended receiver right there, and the first incompletion for the Lions tonight.
Yeah, Rayford has been a huge target, as well as Webb. And Coach Ringwood said Webb is just a special high school football player, and he can block. He's a big play threat, and he can catch the football.
Yeah, he can do it all, no doubt about that. 2nd and 10 now. Looked like a broken play, and Green's going to make something out of nothing right there. It looks like he was looking for the tailback, and the tailback wasn't there. I've never played quarterback before. That's got to be a bad feeling when that happens. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 now for the Lions.
Well, it looks like he made the best out of that, gaining 3 yards there, and that's very impressive as he's a junior. We'll go through how young this team really is. A lot of the players will be coming back next year, which is kind of how it is for the Ironmen this year. Looking back at last year, we returned most of our offensive starters.
Here's a handoff up the middle to Pollard, and he's going to be short of the first down as the Ironmen wrestle him after a gain of about 4 yards there. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and about 2. We'll call it 1.5 yards here, and this is really a no-brainer for Peoria. Most teams would be sending the punter out 6-6 early in the game. Not the Lions, and we're going to get a timeout now. It's going to be for Normal Community. So these are, though, the types of plays, though, that are pivotal. Swing the momentum, swing the field position, whatever you want to look at it. These are pivotal plays here. We'll see if the Ironmen can come up with a big stop.
And the Lions know how to change some momentum as they scored 30 consecutive points after trailing Bloomington last week going into that second half. And one thing that I saw that I just wanted to point out, I just saw 385-pound Jaquarius Green, and I saw Jace Wilson, who is 185 pounds, run into him. So that was an interesting thing to see there. And
so, and what happened, Zach?
385 pounds and 185. So Jace, he went backwards a little bit.
He went backwards a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, Jaquarius Green is a 6'3", 385-pound junior. He's another player that will be returning. Coach Stringwitz had mentioned a couple of sophomore linebackers for the Lions, Julian Lowe, Kendrick Owens. So they've got some really good young players on this team, and they could be a force for quite a while. Big 4th in, we'll call it about 1 yard, 1.5 yards here for the Lions. Big play early on in the contest here. Quarterback position now is Breon Green. Green takes the snap, hands off to Pollard. Pollard's got the first down and more there for the Lions. First down, Peoria High, as they will take the ball out to the 35-yard line, gain of 6 yards. And Deterion Pollard already has 8 carries in the contest, Zach, and that is not unusual for Pollard, the 5'10 junior.
Yeah, last week, 39 carries. And yes, he was very successful with those 230 yards, but he is getting 5 yards a gain. He just keeps going and keeps moving those feet. He knows he's going to play a lot.
And Pollard gets it again, and he'll move up for about 3 yards right there, closer to 4 now. And the Lions, even after they had the incompletion on first down earlier in this series, still able to convert a first down. Now with 2nd down and 6. Clock under a minute to go here now in this first quarter. And the Lions chewed up 5.5 minutes on their first drive. They've chewed up the last 2.5 or so here of the half. So time of possession certainly has been in Peoria High's favor. Green now back to pass, has a receiver in the flat. That's Rayford again. He is tackled after a gain of about 4 yards. That's actually Netters that time. So Kendall Netters was able to get the catch right there for the Lions. And so a 3rd and 1 coming up for Peoria High. Clock at 24 seconds now to go here in the first quarter. 6-6 our score.
Yeah, Jaron Frankowiak on that monster tackle there. It got the crowd really riled up. You see him all in pink, decked up all the way up the stands.
And looked like a penalty against Peoria right there as 2 men were in motion at the same time. This one's going to come back here, so it's going to cost the Lions 5 yards with 5 seconds now to go in the quarter. An illegal shift against Peoria High. So we'll see if that penalty comes back to hurt the Lions a little bit on this drive.
One thing the Ironmen have been really good at this year, and especially as of late, is penalties. Last week saw 1 penalty for the Ironmen for 5 yards, and it was the first play of the game. We haven't seen one here today against the Ironmen.
Yeah, we asked Coach Strengwitz about that this week. His eyes kind of lit up at that number that was there, and they were very proud of that this week, and that is going to be the end of the first quarter. What a first quarter it was. Peoria High struck first. They went up 6-0. Normal Community answered right back. They tied the game at 6. Neither team could find an extra point. The Lions missed a 2-point conversion. The Ironmen missed the extra point on the other end. 6-6 after 1 for the Big 12 Conference Championship here in 2024. Normal Community and Peoria High. Well, Zach, really the first quarter that we kind of expected. Both teams moving the football, neither defense really able to get a stop. I guess Normal Community a little bit more quick scoring, quick firepower than what we saw from Peoria, but the Lions just keep grinding away here at this Ironman defense.
That's really how it has been all year for both of these teams. We've seen the Ironmen time and time again have drives that are just less than a minute and being able to get a touchdown there. They love to get quick touchdowns, and Peoria, on the other hand, they love to just tire out your defense, as we've seen already. Pollard has ran for 8 rushes, I'm pretty sure, maybe 9 now. I think it's 9 rushes, and last week he had 39, so they love to tire out the defense, and it seems like they're never exhausted. They just got a lot in their tank, and they're ready to go.
Yeah, they certainly are. Yeah, Pollard had 9 carries in that first quarter, so really on pace to what he did a week ago with those 39. 6-6 tie. Green now back to pass, getting some pressure. Green turns the corner. What a move to get away from the defender that time. He's got open space now on the far side, and we'll see if the Ironman can get him down, but not before he is going to run out of bounds right around the 43-yard line. How about Breon Green eluding a number of defenders and just about picking up a first down. He's about 2 yards short, and we have seen a lot of 4th downs already, Zach, and we got another one coming up.
Well, what an exceptional play, especially considering he is just a junior. I am ecstatic for what I'm going to see from him in these coming years, and for what looked like it was almost a 4th and 20. It was almost a loss of about 10 yards. He probably ran a total of 30 yards and was able to almost get that first down, putting his team in position to go for this 4th down and really having a chance to get it. And we know they always go for that 4th down, but if it was 4th and 20, who knows if they would have.
Yeah, and that's something that Coach Drengwitz talked about. If one of the things they really wanted to improve coming out of the Centennial game was containing the quarterback. And you kind of saw the Normal Community kind of overran the play just a little bit, left that backside open. So that's something the Ironmen will keep working on to be able to contain the quarterback. And Breon Green is going to give them a big test tonight and probably give them an idea of what they're going to see a little bit in the 7A playoffs as well.
Yeah, Drengwitz gave us a perfect description of Green before the game. He said their quarterback is just tough. He can throw it. He can run. And just when you think you've got him caged up, he's going to squirt out and he's going to make a play with his feet. And also mentioned again that he throws the ball really well, and that is exactly what we've seen. We've seen multiple very well thrown balls, and just when you think you got him, we thought we had him there on that sack. He squirted it out and almost got that first down for him.
Terrion Pollard is in that backfield with Green now. 4th down and 2, another 4th down play. Green now looking far side. He's got his man. That is Rayford right there. A 1st down for Peoria High. That'll be a gain of about 7 yards right out to midfield. And Green now has 51 yards passing. That is his 6th completion and 7 tries here so far to start the contest.
Yeah, and the 3 biggest names on offense have all been juniors for Peoria as they go for the run here from Pollard. Looks like he maybe has a yard. He might have gotten brought back to the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, not a lot of running room that time for Pollard. It's going to bring up, yeah, you're right, Zach. He only got about a yard. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. 11-12, 11-10 to go here first quarter. 6-6 tie between Normal Community and Peoria High. The Big 12 Conference Championship on the line tonight. The Ironmen want it outright, and the Lions want to share. Green now back to pass, looking to the near side, and a nice break on that one for Normal Community as Xavion Lashley there stepping up to defend the pass there. Looked like also might have had Kalen Taylor over there as well for the Ironmen. So that's only the 2nd incompletion now for Green. And 3rd down and 9, a position the Lions haven't been in much so far tonight.
Yeah, Lashley's been someone that has improved as the season's progressed. He looked to get that interception here. They're going for the 3rd down, and it looks like they may have a 1st down as Pollard is still running a few yards past the 1st down.
Yeah, he picked up 12 yards on the play right there, as Pollard has been a force for the Lions already in this game. 10 carries, 47 yards right now for the junior, and another 1st down here for Peoria High. We don't have the ability to keep time of possession numbers up here, but Peoria High so far has had the football a tremendous amount so far in the contest. This drive started with maybe about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter here, and we're a minute and a half already into the second. There's a slant. This is going to be a touchdown. Touchdown, Peoria High. Spencer Russell caught that one. 38 yards for the touchdown as a slant across the middle goes for 6 for Peoria High. And how about Breon Green already in the contest? 7 completions out of 9 pass attempts, 89 yards, and now a touchdown score for the Lions. And I'm not sure if a defensive back fell down that time, Zach, because Spencer Russell was absolutely wide open, and he goes into the end zone, and it's 12-6. Here's the 2-point conversion, and again, Peoria High is going to get another penalty on a 2-point conversion. So back this one up to the 8-yard line, and that's where the Lions now will have to try to pick up 2, but a little bit of a breakdown defensively there for the Ironmen. Give the Lions a ton of credit. Pass was right on the money. Spencer Russell able to get in the end zone, but somebody lost the wide receiver there for the team in orange and black.
And that breakdown is fully expected when they go to yet another wide receiver. That's the 3rd receiver that they've looked to this game. Green loves to look to really all of his options, and again, keeping community on their toes. They probably weren't expecting to go there, and here goes the 2-point conversion. Looks like the Ironmen are going to force Green to throw it out of bounds. It looked like that was Kellen Ogston on the pressure.
And nice job by the Ironmen right there, but the Lions take the lead back here in the second quarter. 10-18 to go second quarter, 12-6 our score. Peoria High has the lead. So last time we saw Peoria High with the kickoff, they went to the pooch kick. We'll see if they go to the onside kick this time, as trying to keep the Ironmen guessing, but really, again, Peoria High facing a number of 4th downs there on that drive, able to convert them. Picked up a nice 3rd down. We saw a 3rd and 9. Pollard goes for 12. Then the 38-yard touchdown pass right there. Right now, the Ironman defense back on their heels, and Peoria is really having their way with them so far in this first half.
Yeah, and I think what the Lions do here depends on what they see from the Ironman. That's something Coach Drangwitz brought up to us, that the Lions really change what they do formationally once they see the other team, something that you're allowed to do in high school football. And I'm sure that's what they're doing when they're deciding if they want to do an onside kick or if they go a little bit farther here. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Lions have in store on this kick.
You can see the way the Ironmen have lined up. It is not a conventional lineup here as they are shifting now formationally to see what Peoria is going to do. And here we go. So kind of a short kick. Kick it back, and I do believe that is Cole Kretzinger that's going to be on the return here for Normal Community. He's up to right around the 34-yard line for the Ironmen, and that's where the Ironmen will start 1st and 10. The Normal Community has not had the ball very much so far here in the first half, as the Ironmen have run so far, let's see, 8 plays for Normal Community. And Peoria's got a lot more than that here so far in the contest. We'll try to get you those numbers here in just a second, as the Lions have dominated the possession so far in the contest. I've got Peoria already for 28 plays already to Normal Community's 10. Well, here we go. The Ironmen with the football for the second time. Just 8 plays for Normal Community so far in the game. 10-11 to go, second quarter. Beatty now across the middle. He's got his man right around the 43-yard line. And the catch right there made by Michael Mavick.
That was, it looks like that was actually
Ivo
Austin there. Ivo Austin returns after being out for 3 games. He's back, and that is a huge addition for the Ironmen. The Ironmen are fully healthy for the first time since week 2, Drengwood says, as they also got Jalen Smith back, another wide receiver and someone that's been returning the ball tonight.
Austin goes for 8 yards there on first down. Fake the handoff. Beatty now up the middle looking for that first down marker. And the ball come free. And they're going to say he was down on the play. So gain of about 2 yards. Kyle very close to the first down. Not sure if he got it or not, Zach. It's going to be really close here. It is going to be a first down for Normal Community. So a pass to Ivo Austin goes for 8. Kyle Beatty there for 2 yards. And a first down now for the Ironmen. 9:20 to go before halftime. A fast-moving first half here so far. Peoria High leads Normal Community 12-6. The Lions have scored on both of their possessions, have not converted either one of the 2-point conversions.
Yeah, and the Lions have been on offense. I crunched the numbers for 11 minutes and 12 seconds.
Beatty now back to pass, got hit from the backside, and Kalen Taylor couldn't hang on. Might have been looking to go upfield on that particular play before he caught the football. Beatty now 1 for 5 for 27 yards, but that was a touchdown pass that Beatty was able to throw to Kalen Taylor. That was the lone score for the Ironmen so far tonight. 8:57 to go here in the first half. 12-6. Peoria High has the lead. And the Lions, their offense, we've heard about it coming in, and they have shown every part of it so far.
Yes, they have, and it's going to be interesting to see that the Ironmen are going back to Kalen Taylor here, and he's got 3 yards on the carry, 4 yards.
Yeah, looks like he's going to have 4 yards, maybe even 5 on the carry there for Kalen Taylor. We're going to call it 4 just so Zach can be right.
Yes.
There we go. Even though Kalen actually picked up 5 on the play. It's close, Zach. We'll call it 4.5.
Wait, it says 3rd and 6.
Yep, Zach is all
4
over.
yards.
Yep, we will give him 4 yards right there. Hey, big third down again here for Normal Community. They're near midfield. You almost feel like you have to keep up the pace with the Lions here right now because your defense has really struggled to stop them. 3rd down and 6 now here for the Ironmen. Pressure coming from Peoria on every down. Ball up to Marquand Gary, and he can't quite haul it in. Again, really good coverage down there. Spencer Russell was on the coverage. I think that was Ivo Austin down there. It was Ivo Austin. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and 6. And what do you do here, Zach? This is quite a call here for Normal Community. Beatty now 1 for 6 for 27 yards. Nice thing for the Ironmen is their quarterback is their punter. You don't have to show your hand here right away. 8:10 to go first half. Peoria High leads 12-6. We're going to get a timeout here now by Normal Community.
Well, it looked as though the Iron were going to show their hand there, just saying we are going for the 4th and 6. But they call a timeout, so it's going to be interesting to see what they come out of this timeout, what formation they come out in. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go with Kyle looking like he can kick the ball, because that opens up so many options, as we've seen that time and time again, that trick play that Kyle Beatty does, and then he can find a receiver. Last year, I remember I can't quite remember if it was against Peoria, but Community did that exact play and found Dexter Niekamp for like a 50-yard touchdown. So that is something the Ironmen have in their bag, and it looks like they could utilize it here. It's Kyle Beatty. Oh, I think he's looking to kick it. Yes, he is.
Yeah, the Ironmen look like they're going to kick the football here now on 4th down and 6. They're going to punt the football away, so Peoria looks like they might have gotten the first stop of the contest. Kyle is the quarterback, though, so you got to watch him back there on a fake. Beatty now will roll out, looking downfield, and now he will punt the ball, and it's going to go out of bounds at right around the 25-yard line. We'll see where the official is going to spot it. He is still walking backwards, and now he'll walk forwards to the 25. And he's still moving forward, 29-yard line, so that's where Peoria High will have the football. Well, Zach, Normal Community hasn't seen this much adversity since the game against Kankakee. That would have been the game back in week number 4. The Ironmen lost that contest at Kankakee, got themselves down in a big hole early on, 26-0. Had to try to rally in that contest, but we really haven't seen this much adversity for the Ironmen for quite a while.
Yeah, and it was the second quarter that got the Ironmen there. They held Kankakee to 6 in the first quarter, and Kankakee blew up in that second with outscoring the Ironmen 20-0, which gave them that 26-0 halftime lead.
We got Pollard again up the middle, and this time really nowhere to go, as Normal Community was able to create a pile right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard. The hard part for the Ironmen, Zach, is they just haven't been able to get off the field, as Peoria High has converted 3rd and 4th downs consistently so far in this contest, and you got to give the Lions a ton of credit.
Yeah, the Ironmen have only been on offense for just shy of 5 minutes. Peoria just a little bit over 11 minutes.
And a handoff again. That looked like it was Pollard once again who got the handoff for the Lions. He got to the 35-yard line, and he's going to pick up a gain of about 4 yards there. We'll call it even a gain of 5. And it's almost like, it looks like the Ironmen have him close to the line of scrimmage, but they're not getting much penetration because of that offensive line for the Peoria High.
Yeah, and the Lions have a very similar approach to offense as the Ironmen do. They like to run it up the middle there with their running back, but they also have so many options at wide receiver, as do the Ironmen. So it's really interesting to see. It's almost like these two offenses are identical. And here he goes, drops back to pass. Looks like he's got a man, but he overthrows number 1 there, Spencer Russell, who was the one that was able to get that 38-yard receiving touchdown earlier.
4th and 4 now coming up for Peoria High. And this is where the Ironmen have struggled. They just have not been able to get off the field on these 4th downs. That pass a little bit too high. That's only Green's 3rd incompletion of the night. He's got 89 passing yards already in the first half. We'll talk about Peoria's numbers on the ground here in just a second. The Lions have done a great job of spreading things out so far. Well, here we go. 4th and 4 now. Big play in this contest. Green tries to draw the Ironmen offsides. Play clock is down to 5. They might actually punt the football here, Zach. He's going back into punt formation. Almost ran out of time, and they are going to punt the ball. How about that? Kalen Taylor now at the 35. Kalen at the 40. Turns the corner at the 50, and he is going to slip and fall down at the 47-yard line. And how about the block by Craig Bennett that time on the sideline? And so 47-yard line in Peoria territory, and the Ironmen get the stop they needed right there, Zach, because if you go down a couple scores here against Peoria, you could find yourself in trouble here in the first half.
You know, and I would be lying if I didn't say I was surprised that Peoria kicked that football. It really looked like they were going to go for that 4th and 4, and they must have seen something from the Ironmen that they didn't like, and that's another reason it's good to have your quarterback as the punter. He was able to get that one off there. So this is really great for the Ironmen in a very pivotal possession, as they have about 47 yards to the end zone.
Handoff to Taylor. Good penetration by Peoria that time, but Taylor able to reverse field. Just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He plows now straight ahead, and all of that yielded him no yardage on first down. Well, you go back to that 4th down and you really think about it. Peoria High really didn't gain a whole lot of field position out of that, but still, look at defensively able to step up right there. Boy, they were in the backfield quick on that particular play, And maybe that'll be the play for the Peoria High defense here to try to get them off the field on this series.
Yeah, and I think they expected to catch the Iron off guard, but Taylor was able to have a great time bringing that ball back, and it was a great block by Craig Bennett as well.
And nowhere to go, though, that time as Kyle Beatty fakes the handoff. Beatty now to the near side. He's got the 40. He's pushed out of bounds. Ooh, that is awfully close. Right around the 41-yard line. He must have still been in bounds. No flag on the play. The crowd here on the near side not real happy about it. But Kyle Beatty pushed out of bounds. Boy, Zach, that was maybe a half step possibly here on the near side. Not much of a reaction, though, from the coaches down there, so you got to think Kyle must have still been in bounds.
Yeah, I think that was just in bounds. It's obviously a very close call, something in the NFL a lot. I think you'd see a flag thrown. That's something they love to call. But you got to start thinking, is this four down territory for the Ironmen here?
And Beatty now rolling out. He's going to keep it again. He's got the 35, and he will slide down. And I think he might have gotten the first down. And now we got a penalty flag comes in. And we'll see who this is against. This is going to be a significant call here as the Ironmen are inside the 40-yard line. And we'll see if this is against Peoria or against Normal Community. Just from the body language, I think this is going to be against the Lions. But that's the initial guess here at this point.
Yes.
And we'll have to sort this one out.
Spencer Russell and Ivo Austin exchanged some words. Spencer Russell plays both sides of the ball and has been guarding Austin all game today. And obviously he's been very successful offensively. And the Ironmen look to be going back about 15 yards here. And this will be a much larger third down.
Now, Beatty went down right near the first down marker. I do believe they gave him the first down, and then they marked off the 15-yard penalty here against against Normal Community. So it moves the ball all the way back inside Normal Community territory. So first down, 15-yard loss. Ball is at the Normal Community 48 on a really bizarre exchange.
Yeah, that was quite the bizarre exchange. Ivo Austin is still on the field. Kyle Beatty's looking to Marquand Gary, and he might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 there for Gary.
And a second completion for Kyle Beatty tonight, just 1 yard there. Second down and 9, and boy, Peoria High is starting to look really confident on the defensive end. They're putting a ton of pressure on Kyle Beatty in the backfield, and the Ironmen have not been able to get behind this defense with that man-to-man coverage on the backside. Give the Lions a ton of credit, and so far they have really given the Ironmen everything they've wanted right now. Peoria High with a 12-6 lead, under 5 minutes to go, second quarter. Handoff off to Taylor, right side. Kalen's got the 45, now plows ahead to the 44. He'll be about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, you start to wonder if the Ironmen are going to go back with Taylor. It's great that they have so many options, such a strong passing and rushing game. So it'll be interesting to see what they go for on third down. And again, if this is 4 down territory for the Ironmen.
Been a really good contest here so far. Peoria High scored first right away. The Ironmen answered. Peoria High went right back down and scored. They got to stop defensively. Normal Community got to stop, and that's where we find ourselves right now in a very fast-moving first half. 4 minutes to go before halftime. Beatty's going to keep it into the middle of the field, and Kyle's going to get a first down at right around the 40-yard line. And I think the coaches upstairs have seen something, because Kyle Beatty now has had 3 rushes on this drive off that zone read. Kyle's been pulling it and keeping it. We'll see if that's something that the Ironmen continue to go to.
And he's done it on back-to-back pivotal third and shorts. So they've definitely seen something from the Lions where they know Beatty can get a couple of rushing yards there right when they need it. It'll be interesting how the Lions respond to that.
A blitz now and a screen. They might have caught Peoria High. Kalen Taylor at the 30. He's at the 20. Kalen to the 10. 5. Touchdown. Normal Community. Kalen Taylor leaps into the end zone, and the Ironmen score for the second time tonight. It's 12-12.
Oh my goodness. You can call that a juke right there. It looked like they were going to get him at about the 5-yard line. He goes and changes his direction, taking a jump sidestep, kind of. That was incredible, being able to get to the end zone. That's his second score of the night. We're tied up here. Will Castro's got a chance to put the Ironmen ahead in this matchup, and wow, what a play. Great block from the Ironmen. Great find from Beatty. This is a play we've seen from the Ironmen all year long, and it worked against this very strong Peoria defense.
41 yards, the touchdown right there, and they caught Peoria High in a blitz. That was a great call at the right time, and we're going to get encroachment here against Peoria, so move it up just a little bit. 48 yards from Beatty to Taylor for the touchdown. 41 yards that time, as Kalen Taylor has 2 catches for 68 yards on the night. And you could see Peoria coming hard after the quarterback. Now, they do that every time. That they brought the house that time, and the Ironmen caught them on the screen pass, and Kalen Taylor does the rest. Will Castro now will try to knock through the extra point here. 3:28 to go in the first half. The extra point is up, and did he miss that one as well? He did. I don't know if Peoria High got a piece of it, but Will Castro has missed 2 now here in the first half, and it is 12, and the Ironmen just cannot get the lead here, Zach, before halftime. But they do tie up the score. The defense gets a stop. They come back, and they get a touchdown now to tie the game.
And now we have the Lions who will be receiving this football. And we've seen the Lions' most successful drive took about 6 minutes. Actually, one drive was about 6 minutes, the other was 5. They have 3:30 here, so we're going to have to see a different approach offensively for the Lions if they want to be able to score against this very strong and battle-tested Ironman defense here. So it will be definitely a challenge on both sides. We've seen the Ironman defense out on this field more than they have been out on the sideline, and we've seen the Lions loving to run the football. They'll have to look for more passes on this drive, so this is going to be very crucial for both teams.
Yeah, it certainly will, and here we go. 3:28 before halftime. A score 12-12 between Normal Community and Peoria High. Even though not a ton of points on the board, a lot of offense here so far in the first half. This one will not find the end zone. The first time Peoria's going to be able to return it. They muff it at right around the 15, and now brought down at right around the 22-yard line there. Melvin Jenkins, another junior, Zach, 5'9", another guy that Coach Drengwitz talked about as another junior on the field for Peoria High. And, Zach, it's going to be really interesting to see what this team looks like a year from now here for the Lions. Boy, they got a lot of young players out there. They are going to be a load next year, and they have an awfully good team this year.
Yeah, on my sheet, I have 11 of their players circled as key players. 2 of those are seniors, 7 are juniors, and 2 are sophomores. So this team has been exceptional this year and will continue to be exceptional the following.
Peoria High, the Class 5A state runner-up 2 years ago, and up the middle now is Pollard, and he is going to be wrestled down after maybe a gain of about a yard right there, as finally brought down. It looks like Frankowiak made the tackle that time. That actually was Colton LeComp that time that got in there and made the tackle for Normal Community. Gain of about 2 that time for Pollard.
Yeah, Lashley just came off, and we have another defensive lineman for the Ironmen. They have a 5'2", it looks like, up there right now.
2:50 now for the half. Oh, Pollard's going to run right into the Normal Community defense that time, as Simmons was able to get through there and make the tackle, and looked like he lost about a yard.
And Simmons is ecstatic. What a tackle there, and it was very crucial to have 5 up on the line there. It allowed Simmons to get that tackle. That was a very well-scripted play defensively for the Ironmen. We have a 3rd and 9 with 2:20 on the clock, and if they don't convert here, they might look to punt, and the Iron may have some time on the clock to score.
Green now back to pass. His receiver fell down. He's in trouble, and he will go down. Normal Community gets the Breon Green right there at the 17-yard line. and that will be a loss of 6 as LeCompte was able to get the sack for Normal Community. And it looked like a receiver fell down for Peoria High, as Normal Community has 1 timeout left, so the Ironmen are not going to burn it right here. Peoria's going to run another 20 seconds off the clock. They're going to punt it with about 1:20 on that clock. And even though Peoria High loves to play right on the edge, this is a little bit too much to ask here at 4th and 15 and the ball at your own 19-yard line.
And it looks like it's going to go back even further. There was a flag thrown out on the field. There's a Peoria player talking to the ref, and he did just point the other way. So this ball will be going back even a little bit further, which is even better for the Ironmen.
So in sportsmanlike conduct against Peoria High, the clock, which might be the biggest factor right now, is stopped at 1:38. We'll see if the officials are going to wind it. The ball is all the way back to the 9-yard line. So Peoria High has put themselves in a tough position here to end the half. What a half it's been. We got a tie score for the Big 12 championship tonight. Normal Community trying to win it outright. Peoria High trying to get a share of the Big 12 title.
I can tell you one thing, I was not expecting a 4th and 25 for Peoria on this drive. I thought they were going to go for some passes and be able to take it down the field. Not necessarily a touchdown, but really make it competitive. And now this is the best scenario for the Ironmen, forcing them with a 4th and 25 with a huge stop from Aramis Simmons, an incredible sack from LeCompte, as well as another tackle from LeCompte. And then it was just unsportsmanlike conduct from the Lions that has forced this 4th and 25, forced them all the way back at their 9-yard line. Last time their kick from their quarterback went about 35, 40 yards, so Community could have some really good field position here with 1:25. One thing I want to point out, Community has scored very often in under a minute. So this time, yes, it's short, but Community has shown time and time again they can score in quick bursts.
And the Ironmen will have the ball to start the second half as well. So Normal Community's put themselves in good position. It seems like the defense has tightened up the last couple of series, so we'll see if they can keep that going. The Ironmen playing for the Big 12 Conference Championship and probably also a first-round home game in the 7A playoffs. A lot of things could happen. Muff the punt right here. He's going to take off the run. He's hit the goal line and taken down. I think he got to the 1-yard line, Zach. It's going to be a 1st and goal at the 1 for Normal Community. And how about that? Peoria High couldn't handle the snap, and now the Ironmen will get it 1st and goal at the 1. Mark that play down with 1:16 to go in the half.
Well, a second ago I just said it was the best scenario for the Ironmen. I take that back. This is the best scenario for the Ironmen with a 1st and goal, 1 yard to go. It's a tie ball game. There's 1:16 on the clock. Wow, that was exceptional.
And I guess if you have a chance to replay it, if you're Peoria, take the safety at that point. But he got out to the 1-yard line, and that's where Normal Community will have it. And we'll see if the Ironmen can punch it in here to finally take a lead in this contest. 1:16 to go for the half. 12-12 between Peoria High and Normal Community. The Ironmen have the ball at the 1-yard line. Peoria High couldn't handle the snap that time off the punt. Beatty now hands it off. Kalen Taylor got hit at the line of scrimmage. No, Beatty still has it right there, and he is going to be taken down for a loss, and a big loss on the play. I do believe they're going to mark his forward progress at right around the 3-yard line. So it looked worse than it ended up being, but still it's going to be a 2-yard loss there for the Ironmen. And I think if Kyle had to have that one over again, Kalen Taylor would have had the football. But the Ironmen, Beatty's gotten quite a few positive yards off of pulling that off that read, but only lost a yard on the play.
Yeah, and I think Peoria has seen what Kyle's doing when he's running the ball, and they adjusted. Beatty is back, and he's got a man. He's got Marquand Gary in for the touchdown. The Ironmen take their first lead of the game. It is 18-12 Ironmen. What a perfectly scripted play. the ball was right on the money for Marquand Gary, and he reeled that one in.
They certainly did, and Marquand just running a little out route right there. Pass was right on the money, and Zach, you got your first touchdown call of the broadcasting career. We'll have to make sure we cut that out right there, as Marquand Gary, a 2-yard touchdown catch. Kyle Beatty now 3 consecutive completions for Normal Community, and the Ironmen have their first lead of the night at 18-12.
That was ecstatic, and now let's see if Castro can get that first extra point to go through. He's been very consistent all season. The extra point is up. It looks like this one's good, and it is. The Ironmen have a 7-point lead, 19-12. There is 30 seconds left on the clock.
And the last time on the extra point, as it was another miss for Normal Community. Will Castro just kind of stood there for a few moments, almost in disbelief that he had missed 2 in a row, and that one looked beautiful as it sailed through. So the Ironmen trailed 12-6. They've come back with the last 2 scores now to make it 19-12. And obviously the offense has been good in the first half, but you got to tip your cap to the defense. Peoria High really took it to them on the first 2 drives, really had a hard time slowing the Lions down, but doing a nice job in the last couple of series for Peoria High, getting off the field and finally able to get the lead here in the first half.
Yeah, this game's very different from last year. Last year was 63-42. Peoria attempted an onside kick, I think, every single time. We have not seen an onside kick yet. It's 19-12, so there's been a lot less scoring as well for both sides of the ball here.
Yeah, we remember B.J. Dumas almost wore out his hand trying to keep all those scoring plays last year in that contest.
My hand's doing all right.
Yeah, and they've really taken it easy on you, Zach, here so far. And once again, Peoria High will return the kick here to the far side, and up the field goes Melvin Jenkins. And we've got a penalty on the play. Normal Community might have hit him out of bounds. And a flag fly in there, Zach. I see
yes,
one
it did.
On the far side. And with 21 seconds to go in the half, Peoria High looks like they're going to have the ball right around the Normal Community 37, 38-yard line if that's a hit out of bounds against the Ironmen. So now Normal Community is going to have to defend the end zone here with just 21 seconds left in the half. And the Lions knocking on the door again. Let's see where they're going to mark the football here. It's going to be the 40-yard line. So a personal foul against Normal Community as they hit Melvin Jenkins out of bounds that time. 21 seconds on the clock. This could be huge because the Ironmen get the ball to start the half. They'd have a chance to get a 2-score lead in this game. We'll see if the Lions can strike quickly. 21 seconds. Breon Green, the quarterback for Peoria High. Sets men in motion now for the Lions. Green will take the handoff himself, and he's going to get to the 36-yard line. Peoria High's got 2 timeouts left, and Green will be tackled there, and the Lions are going to burn one of those timeouts. Well, you talked about that special teams would be important, and what a big kick return for Melvin Jenkins. And for Normal Community, the late hit hurts as well because that really pushes the ball into Ironman territory. Even with that kick return, Peoria High is still not over the 50 yet, but boy, that penalty was big for the Lions in their field position.
And not only does it hurt, it was the first penalty for the Ironmen today, and the Lions have had about 4 or 5 penalties, so that's been a real key to this game. That is the first penalty against the Ironmen. I'd like to bring up that there was 2 great plays there. Melvin Jenkins obviously did a great job on that punt return, but I'd like to shout out the referee who was about 25 yards back. He cocked back like a quarterback and threw that flag right at the spot of the foul. That was pretty impressive.
That is. So that's not just, that's depth and accuracy there.
Oh, yeah,
so
he nailed it.
That was well done. Well, here we go. 14 seconds to go. First half, 19-12 our score. The Ironmen lead Peoria High, but the Lions trying to put another touchdown on the board before half to match Normal Community. Breon Green has been very good so far for Peoria High. They flip it back. The ball's on the turf, and Peoria High is going to have to burn a timeout here as a loss of 5 that time for the Lions as they flipped it back to Melvin Jenkins. Couldn't quite hang on to the football right there. But the Lions did recover the fumble. 10 seconds on the clock now here for Peoria. Zach, that was their last timeout. So you have to think they might have two plays. The first one's got to probably be to the sideline here. Try to get out of bounds here if you're Peoria High, but you got a couple of shots here at the end of the half.
Yes, you do. You do have a couple of shots. And Jenkins he's had trouble holding onto the ball. On his great return, he actually kind of fumbled the ball on the ground a little bit. He caught it a little late, but was able to convert it. There, he was not able to convert it into any yardage, and actually maybe a yard or two lost there. And like you say, this could be 2 more downs for Peoria here. We'll see what approach they go with, as one of their touchdowns was 38 yards today. They're 40 yards back, and here we go.
Yeah, we'll see how deep those safeties are now here for Normal Community, and we might have an offsides here against Peoria High, and we will. That'll bump the Lions back to the 45-yard line. And 8 seconds now on the clock here for the half.
I think we might be looking at one play now that just those 2 seconds.
Well, they're going to put those 2 seconds back on the clock here again. So on that false start, so they'll put that back at 10 seconds. The referee is going to wait for those seconds to go back up on the clock.
They are back up on the clock. 10 seconds. They have 45 yards to go. Now I actually think it might be more likely that they have 2 shots at it here. Just a quick pass over to the sideline.
Green now back to pass. Plenty of time. Now he's getting some pressure. Tries to turn the corner. Has a couple players after him. He will run out of bounds. Maybe picked up about 3 yards, and there's 3 seconds now on the clock. And now Peoria High is going to have to take a shot at the end zone here to end the half, and Normal Community will defend that goal line. So last play of the half here. It's been a good one. Well, the Lions got off to a quick start at 6-0. Normal Community tied it up. Peoria High went back ahead 12-6. The Ironmen had the last 13 points on the board to go ahead 19-12. And now the last play of the half here, and we'll see what Breon Green can pull off. The junior quarterback back to pass. Looking, he's going to let it go down the field. It's going to be overthrown, tipped that time, and picked off by Normal Community. And that will end the half. So Breon Green's last throw is intercepted by the Ironmen, and we have reached halftime here from Dick Tharp Field in Zach. A first quarter that kind of zipped right on by. A second quarter that was a lot slower, but a lot of excitement in quarter number 2. Back and forth we go. The offenses have been good, but it looks like Normal Community's defense has kind of found it a little bit there in that second quarter.
You know, the Lions have not been held to this amount of points this year. The Lions average over 50 points a contest. They have 12, so they'd be on pace for 24. Community has cut in half what the Lions usually average. And I would like to point out, though, this is still obviously a ball game. It's a touchdown, but it's a touchdown deficit for the Lions. But the Lions are very good at scoring in quick bursts, as are the Ironmen. Last week, the Lions showed it, as I said earlier, as they scored 30 consecutive points against Bloomington in the second half after trailing by a touchdown at halftime.
Yeah, we'll see if they repeat that performance today or Normal Community holds them off. The only loss on the season for Peoria High, 20-18 to Normal West. We have reached halftime here at Normal Community High School tonight. Normal Community 19, Peoria High 12. We're going to take a quick break. When we rejoin you here on the Ink Spot, we'll have our senior spotlight. We'll talk about the first half stats, and we'll bring you half number 2. The Big 12 Conference Championship on the line. The Ironmen lead the Lions 19-12 at half.
Hi, I'm Zachary Knox-Doyle, and today I will be roaming the halls asking our students this or that questions about fall. Pumpkin patch or apple orchard?
Pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin patch.
Hey, tailgating or backyard bonfire?
Backyard bonfire.
Bonfire.
Fire.
Backyard bonfire.
Bonfire.
Flannel or sweater?
Flannel.
Sweater.
Flannel. Sweater.
Gilmore Girls or Twilight?
Twilight.
Gilmore Girls.
Twilight.
Pumpkin pie or apple pie?
Apple pie.
I've never had pie.
Pie.
Apple pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin carving or movie marathons?
Movie marathons.
Movie marathons.
Movie marathon.
Welcome to The Upbeat, where the Ink Spot takes a break from breaking news and talks about what's making us happy this week. My name is Bella Green, and I'm here with
Kirsten Santana.
And Carter Hull.
Kirsten. What's making you happy this week?
Ooh, I feel like the thing that made me happy this week is I got to go to Tanner's Orchard, and that was fun. Because did you know that they charge you $10 if you go on the weekend, but they don't charge you if you go on a weekday?
What?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So we got to go in for free.
What do you even do at Tanner's Orchard?
They have like this giant gift shop thing. They have nuts and apples and a lot of apples. And you can jump on this inflatable thingy. And then you can also go on the seesaw.
The seesaw?
The seesaw was my favorite.
Is it big?
The seesaw?
Or is it like a normal size seesaw?
It was kind of normal, but it was the first time I've ever been on a seesaw.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it set up like Raiders? Like the same?
I don't remember what Raiders looks like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
It's just like a bunch of like they have like the pumpkin thing like in the front, and then like all kinds of different activities around.
Yeah, their activities are in the back. And then their like gift shop is like what's in the front.
The gift? What's at the gift shop?
Apple
like
flavored
apple,
things.
yeah.
Apple flavored things?
Like candles and cardigans and
Apple flavored cardigans?
sweaters with with apples on them.
Okay. That makes way more sense.
What made you happy this week, Carter?
Well, I went to see the new Pharrell movie. It was Legos. And Tyler, the Creator, announced his new album, so that's pretty cool.
He's
What's
the
like
guy.
the concept of the album? Like it kind of looks scary.
I don't know, it doesn't come out yet, but it seems like it's supposed to be like, ooh, you know. Frank Ocean's gonna be on it, so I guess that's pretty cool.
Isn't Daniel Caesar also going to be on there?
Yeah.
I like Daniel Caesar and Frank Ocean.
Then you should listen to the new Tyler, the Creator album, Chromacopia, when it comes out on October 28th.
Oh.
It's on a Monday.
Oh. What an interesting day.
Okay.
Bella, what's making you happy this week?
So earlier this week, the Ink Spot was honored at the Unit 5 board meeting about like what's something good that's happened this week. So what made me happy was seeing Bovin cry.
What? He cried?
Oh.
But I don't know, it was happy because he was talking about all the accomplishments that we've had, and like he was talking about because it's a award for last year, the Gallup Award. So he was talking about all the people that left and that are doing stuff in college. I don't know, it was really sweet. Yeah. But also in sociology, I really like what Mr. Robinson's doing, like with these impact projects.
Yeah.
Like he does them every year, and I don't know, it's cool seeing like all the stuff. Like the feminism club was because of sociology. Like a lot of the artwork in our school is because of sociology. Like the clouds at the end of that hallway, and I don't know. Like one year there was like a basketball tournament. It's like cool, like seeing like, oh, that's because of like what Mr. Robinson did in sociology. So working on that has been fun for my own group.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? My group's had a few different ideas and been around a little bit. But I think we're going to work with the Western Bloomington Revitalization Project, which kind of does a lot of things for the west side of Bloomington. But what we're specifically going to do, I think, is our settled idea, is we're going to do a book collection. I don't know all the details. We're still working out, like, venues and stuff. But, yeah, we're going to try to, like, get books and get them for other people in West Bloomington.
Love Mr. Robinson so much. I love his, like, curriculum. Is the right word? Yeah. It's really not easy.
It's very easy. You just have to show up and do the work.
Grading now.
Yeah.
But it's not
Is he actually?
It's not really grades. It's just turning in.
If you turn it in, you get all the points for it.
Yeah.
Even if you get everything wrong?
There's no right or wrong answers. That's the secret.
Standard-based grading got to him.
Well, we're getting rid of standards-based grading now anyway, so.
Are we?
Welcome back to Normal Community High School. Joel Swanson, Zach Knox Doyle, 19-12. The Ironmen have the lead at halftime over Peoria High. The winner of this game, Big 12 Conference champions. The Lions would share it with the Ironmen if they win. Normal Community would win it outright if they win here this evening. I'd like to do our final senior spotlight here in the 2024 football season. 4 seniors being spotlighted this week. Number 77, defensive end Justin Curtis. Tight end number 80, Gavin Sheeler. Number 83 is Gavin Sheets. He's a wide receiver. And number 89, Tobias Thompson, a tight end defensive lineman. Thank you to those young men for dedicating themselves to 4 years of Ironman football. Also, the dinner last night for the Ironmen was sponsored by Hy-Vee. So thank you to Hy-Vee for feeding the Ironmen here this week in 2024. Well, Zach has some shout-outs, news clips to read here, and so he's going to read some InkSpot news here for us for a couple moments, then we'll get to some stats and some scoring from the first half. Zach, take it away.
Yes, I have some NCHS InkSpot news briefs. Before I have said shout-outs, they are news briefs, and this has come from Bailey Coslin, and she has put these together. So here are some news briefs from the InkSpot. Girls tennis doubles team, Reese Michaels and Ashley Walls and Avery Anderson and Vienna Quach both qualified for the IHSA 2A state tournament competing yesterday. The teams earned the shot to play at state after finishing 2nd and 4th respectively in last week's sectionals. Those finishes propelled Community to a sectional title. Girls golf. Savannah Segrist advanced to the second day of the IHSA 2A state tournament last weekend. Segrist is the first individual qualifier in over half a decade to advance to the state's highest level of competition. The Ironmen boys soccer team will be hosting the regional finals against East Moline United this Saturday at 11 a.m. This comes after their 2-1 win against the Manuka Indians on Tuesday. Key of She and Voicemail, Community's a cappella group, sang at the Illinois State Board of Education all-agency meeting this past Monday. They performed hits from Ariana Grande, Queen, Stevie Wonder, and Mentor Williams. The presidential election is quickly approaching, and many students will be voting this year. Normal Community's annual registration drive had a record-breaking 50 students register to vote. Unit 5 schools will not be in session on Election Day. Normal FFA was recognized last night at the FFA National Convention for being one of the top 10 chapters in the country based on the events and activities they conducted. 21 students from around Normal traveled to attend this prestigious event. Girls volleyball is closing out the regular season tomorrow with matches against Downers Grove South and Lockport. Community will host the IHSA 4A Regional next Tuesday and will face off Pekin at 6 p.m. The Iron Girls swim team competed in the Big 12 Conference meet today at Normal West, taking 2nd as a team. The boys and girls cross-country teams to compete in the IHSA 3A Regional tomorrow in Manuka. The boys are coming off a 2nd place finish in the Big 12 meet last weekend. and Community's orchestra students hosted their annual concert last night. This year's performance opened with an Olympic fanfare number arranged by Mrs. Melissa Siebenthal, the Irons orchestra director. And the Unit 5 Music Extravaganza will take place November 11th in the Community Auditorium. The event will feature music groups from Normal Community, Chittix, and Evans Junior High. And of course, to find all of this information, make sure to go to nchsinkspot.com to learn more about these excellent stories.
You can also read Zach's articles on inkspot.com as well, and many other journalists for the Normal Community Ink Spot. Again, if you like what you're hearing tonight, you love the coverage, football, basketball, both boys and girls, think about donating to the Ink Spot. All of that money goes to the journalism program at Normal Community High School and makes these kind of things happen for the Ironmen and their students. 19-12 our score at halftime. Normal Community has the lead. Let's take a look at some numbers in the first half. First for Peoria High. The Lions put up 178 total yards in that first half against Normal Community as they were able to move the football pretty effectively on that Normal Community defense. So good numbers for the Lions in the first half. For the Lions individually, Breon Green, 7 for 11, 89 yards and 1 touchdown. Throwing the football, Deterion Pollard had 15 carries for 54 yards and a touchdown. Kendall Netters, 2 carries for 8 yards. Breon Green, 9 carries for 22. And Melvin Jenkins, unfortunately, fumbled the football on his lone carry, 1 for -5. For the Ironmen, Normal Community, 125 total yards in the first half. Kyle Beatty, took a little while for Kyle to get going, but once he found it, 4 for 9, 71 yards. But out of those 4 completions, 3 went for touchdowns in the first half. Kalen Taylor, 70 carries for 40 yards. Kyle Beatty's 5 carries for 14. Not a lot of plays, Zach, for Normal Community on the offensive end. They certainly were efficient with the plays they had, putting up 19 points in that first half. Real quickly, here's the scoring. Peoria High scored first. 5:50 to go first quarter as Pollard went in from 5 yards out. 2-point conversion was no good. Normal Community tied it a few moments later. 27-yard touchdown catch. Beatty to Taylor. It was 6-6. The extra point was no good. Peoria High goes back in front early in the second quarter. 10:18 on the clock. 38-yard touchdown reception by Spencer Russell. Again, 2-point conversion, no good. And interesting, the Lions had offsides penalties on both of their 2-point conversion attempts. It was 12-6 at that point. Community tied it up with 3:28 to go in the first half. A 41-yard touchdown pass off a screenplay by Kalen Taylor. It was 12-12 at that point. Again, the extra point was no good. But Normal Community goes ahead with 31 seconds to go in the half. Peoria couldn't handle the snap right at the goal line. That's where the Ironmen got it. And a 3-yard touchdown pass from Kyle Beatty to Marquand Gary made it 19-12 as the extra point was good. And that's where we stand right now. 19-12 our score as the Ironmen will get the kickoff here to start the second half. And Zach, here we go.
I am excited for this second half. You mentioned penalties. That has been a big thing for Peoria. They have suffered about 5 penalties for a loss of around 50 yards, while the Ironmen have only had 1 penalty, and it did not result in a score. And that huge play, although it was not a penalty, could have been a safety. Instead, the Ironmen stopped Peoria at the 1-yard line, end up getting that 3-yard touchdown to put them ahead 19-12 with just about 30 seconds left in that second half.
I've never seen teams adjust on the kickoff as much as this. As Normal Community's going to run it back. They've got the football. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Jace Wilson. Oh, goodness. Off the onside kick. Jace Wilson caught it, and there was nobody there. And the Ironmen have scored to start the half. How about that?
Peoria makes a last-second change, deciding to go for that onside kick, and Jace Wilson is ready for it. It goes right to him. He gets it right off the bounce. That is very hard to do, and that's why they spend all week working on the hands team. He catches it right off the bounce and just bolts off to the end zone. That was exceptional. And Jace Wilson's 3rd touchdown in the last 3 weeks. And let me remind you guys, he is a linebacker.
Yeah, that is just unbelievable to start the second half. Jace Wilson goes in from midfield, and the extra point is up, and it is good. And all of a sudden, Normal Community leads 26-12 here, as the Ironmen have extended their lead now in the third quarter, 8 seconds in. And we talked about Peoria High came out, Normal Community adjusted. Peoria High showed something different. The Ironmen adjusted. And Zach, it really shows you how prepared this coaching staff has this team with those onside kicks. They are ready for it tonight. Coach Drengwitz talked about the game a couple years ago where the Ironmen lost 4 or 5 onside kicks. Peoria blew them out that night, and one of the reasons why is they just couldn't get the football back because of the onside kicks. So the Ironmen prepared tonight. They run one back. Jace Wilson with an explosive play to start the half. And, Zach, there was nobody between him and the goal line when he caught that ball on the onside kick. Well done by Normal Community. They go up 26-12, and now the Ironmen have put the last 20 points on the board. Still a long way to go.
And Wilson really showcased his speed there. What a great way to start the second half for the Ironmen here, as it is a 14-point lead, which is the biggest lead of the game. Before this, it was 19-12 Community, and before that, it was just a 6-point Peoria lead. And here is the kick.
And Normal Community, the first team to get up to a 2-touchdown lead. Jenkins will be tripped up right around the 20-yard line, and that's where Peoria will have it 1st and 10. The first 2 drives of the game netted touchdowns for Peoria High. They did not find the end zone on their last few drives of that first half, and now the Lions have the football 1st down and 10, and Peoria High now has some pressure on their shoulders as they're down by a couple of scores now here early in the third quarter.
And we saw Taylor with the tackle there. He has been exceptional tonight with 2 of Community's now 4 touchdowns. It is a very important game for him. It is the pink out game. His mother, Angelica, had breast cancer and survived, and it's something that Chris Taylor, his brother that used to play Community, thrived in these pink out games. As Peoria finds a man, and they look like they might have the 1st down there. As a great play by Peoria. Going back to the Taylor brothers, Chris Taylor played with the Ironmen for a while, and in his junior and senior year, week 9 was always the pink out game, and in those games he combined for 6 touchdowns. Kalen Taylor is following in his footsteps with 2 touchdowns to really represent and honor their mother, Angelica.
A great story, Zach. Thanks for sharing that right there as Pollard on the carry. And boy, he was pushed back. I do believe he's still got a 1st down, though, as his forward progress is going to carry him to that 1st down mark. So 1st down, Peoria High. Well, the Ironmen scored late in the half on a 3-yard touchdown pass from Kyle Beatty to Marquand Gary. They get the kickoff return for a touchdown, unconventional off an onside kick, but Jace Wilson knows what to do with it. He finds the house, and now it's 26-12 in favor of the Ironmen. 1st and 10 from Peoria now. Ball at the 32-yard line in their own territory, and Pollard straight up the middle. Gain of about 3 on the play. Terrian Pollard had 15 carries in the first half. He's got the first 2 carries here of the second half, as the Lions already have 1 1st down here. Clock under 11 minutes to go, third quarter.
Yeah, Peoria's going back to that tactic that really led them to that first touchdown that took about 6 minutes off of the clock, really wearing down the Iron defense. And the quarterback is on the run there, as that is Breon Green, and he looks to be a few yards short of the 1st down.
Yeah, Green is able to get 6 yards that time. He had 9 carries for 22 yards in the first half. Pollard had 15 for 54. 3rd down and 1 now. They're going to again Pollard up the middle. He's got big time yardage. He's into Normal Community territory, down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 18 that time for Pollard. One of his best carries of the night. That might be his best carry, and it is. Now with 76 yards on the evening, and here come the Lions.
And that came courtesy of a sophomore lineman, Kamari Jackson, 5'11", 286 pounds, did a great job blocking there. This time the Ironmen are all over it.
about a yard that time. As Peoria High, this is kind of how they started the game, with this pace and tempo and really getting after it at the line of scrimmage. The thing is, you have to be careful because the Lions could hit you over the top at any moment. Under 10 minutes we go in the third quarter, 26-12. Normal Community has the lead here. And what is the Big 12 Conference Championship game here in 2024? Back to pass. There's that play over the top. It's going to be a little bit too far as they were looking on the outside to Rayford again. But Green got a little bit too much on that pass.
Yeah, we saw a very successful play from Peoria, that 38-yard passing touchdown in the first half to Spencer Russell that put them up 12-6. Since then, Russell has been covered by Marquand Gary, and Marquand Gary has not allowed him to get a single reception since then. And it also seems as though Green is kind of scaring away from throwing over there because he knows Marquand is really shutting down his opponents and has been all year.
Green 9 for 13, 98 yards now tonight, 1 touchdown passing. Lions have it 3rd and 9. We'll see if the Ironmen can get off the field here. In the opening, a nice defense that time by Normal Community. Pass was intended that time for Netters, and good coverage by the Ironmen there as Jaron Frankowiak had outstanding coverage. 4th down now. The defense has been solid here the last few series for the Ironmen. Now with a chance to get off the field now on 4th down in a big play.
Frankowiak's a 4-year player. Last year he was on varsity, didn't get much playing time. This year he's getting a lot of playing time, and he has been exceptional in this game, covering all of the receivers that Green has intended to pass to.
4th down and 9. Breon Green back to pass, and that pass is incomplete. And the Lions will turn it over as Normal Community gets another stop. 1st down for the Ironmen with a chance now to take complete control of this contest. Now, having said that, Peoria High is a great comeback team with their style of play, but a big possession now for the Ironmen here as Breon Green missed his last 3 passing attempts on that series, and the Ironmen able to get off the field on 4th down.
Yeah, what a remarkable job from the Ironmen there. They were able to shut down the Lions, and that is exactly what they wanted. This could not have been scripted any better for the Ironmen. They have scored 20 straight points.
Normal Community 1st and 10 now. Hand off to Kaylin Taylor. Taylor trying to burst through the line and just got lassoed around the neck right there on the tackle. It's going to be a gain of 7 as Kaylin Taylor looked like Zach for just a second. He was going to be off to the races right there, but the Lions able to get him to the ground.
And I would not have been surprised if he was off to the races. Last week he had a 68-yard touchdown. He's done it all season where he's been able to break through from 30, 40, 50, the other 40-yard line, and he has been doing it all season.
Beatty now over the middle. Oh, that's off the hand of Michael Mavick on the play. Or did that hit the referee right there?
Yeah, a player on both sides possibly hit the ref as Peoria just helped him up. Some good sportsmanship, and the ref seems to be taking it like a champ. Put his glasses back on there. Ooh, that's a scary thing to see.
Yeah, he got hit pretty hard. I do believe Mavick might have gotten a hand on it, but the official's right in the middle of the field there. He's part of the play, and certainly the Ironmen now with a 3rd down and 3. We'll see if they go back to Kaylin Taylor, the senior tailback who has had another nice night, 47 yards on the ground for Taylor.
Oh, that looks to be offsides on the Lions there. He jumped and he knows that his helmet's in the ground. I think it's really all about body language for the Lions. We've talked about how they can take momentum and they can turn it into lots of points very quickly, and that's exactly what the Ironmen are doing. They have the momentum. They kept their heads high when they were down 12-6, and that's allowed them to get this 26-12 lead.
So Normal Community now picks up a 1st down there off the penalty by Peoria High. 8:42 on the clock here, 3rd quarter. 26-12 our score in favor of Normal Community. Kyle Beatty now has completed his last 3 passes on the night, and the Lions are offsides again. Oh, and they come through. That might be a penalty right there as Peoria High making contact, but I do believe it's just going to be the 5-yard encroachment here against Peoria High, so it's going to be 1st down and 5.
Yeah, when we find out the total amount of penalties for Peoria, that is a huge thing I'm sure they will be honing in on as they're getting ready for the playoffs after this game in 5A. I'm sure that's something they're going to spend all week in practice on. There's been a handful of penalties against the Lions. I want to say around 7 or 8 tonight.
Yeah, certainly, and some key situations as well. As Normal Community now with a first down and 5, the Ironmen trying to get to 8-1 on the regular season. 8-0 in the Big 12 Conference, and almost guarantee themselves a first-round home game in the 7A playoffs. Beatty now off the keeper, nowhere to go. Nice job by the Lions right there. And again, Peoria High making that adjustment. We saw the Ironmen where Beatty kept the football quite a bit in that second quarter. Had some success, 5 carries for 14 yards. But, Zach, things have really closed out on Kyle the last couple times.
Yeah, and I think the Ironmen had seen something that they liked, and they went with the Kyle Beatty run on the third down a couple of times in a row, and the Lions have definitely really closed that up for Beatty. He hasn't been able to see as much. But Kalen Taylor did have a 7-yard rush, so Taylor's still seeing a lot of success running the ball.
Beatty now back to pass. Lions bring pressure. They got a man. Oh, and he couldn't quite find him that time. That would have been a touchdown for Normal Community. Marquand Gary was open right there, and Kyle Beatty just missed him. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5, and that had 6 written all over it.
Yeah, that's a play that the Ironmen will want back. But as Dringwood says, we are working on this week. They are working on this play. That play is in the past, and now the Ironmen have got to convert this 3rd and 5 here at the 42-yard line. And Beatty looks poised and ready to go. His head is still high after overthrowing that ball a little bit.
Let's see if he goes back to Kalen Taylor, and they will. Taylor slams into the line, keeps those feet moving. He's going to be short of the first down here. And let's see where they're going to mark the football. Looks like he got inside the 40. And he's going to be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Gain of 2 there for Taylor. Kalen's got 49 yards on 9 carries. Not quite the prolific numbers we've seen from him all year. Probably 4th and a full 2 now here for the Ironmen in Peoria territory.
Well, Joel, what are you doing here? Are you going for the 4th down? It looks as though the Iron are.
Yeah, I think they're going to. They're going to try to draw Peoria High off sides. They've already done it twice in this drive already. Couldn't do it right there. Beatty back to pass. He's got a man. It's Michael Mavick who is cut down inside the 35 at the 34. Gain of about 5 yards, but a big first down there for the Ironmen. And Beatty has now completed 4 of his last 5 passes here. That one goes for a first down.
Yeah, excellent execution there. It was a play that was very similar to that Marquand Gary 3-yard touchdown. You have a nice block. You're able to get your wide receiver pretty open. He's able to catch it, go for a few more yards. That was a very well executed play by the Ironmen. Now they have a first down with 35 yards to go, and the momentum keeps going on the side of the Ironmen.
1st and 10 now, 6:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Taylor having a hard time finding any running room, and they are going to run him out of bounds. I think Kalen might have lost a couple of yards on the play. They tried to run that to the short side of the field. Nice job by Peoria High. And, yeah, Kalen probably lost about 3 yards there. Don't see that very often. Tip your cap to the defense right there for the Lions.
Yeah, I lost Taylor in a sea of white jerseys there as they just forced him right into the sidelines along with all of the Lions players. That was a great play by the Lions, and they're on top of it. They know that this is a crucial possession where they need to stop the Ironmen.
Halfway through the 3rd quarter now. Beatty back to pass. He's got Marquand Gary. Oh, it's over the middle to Ivo Austin, and Ivo's got a first down. Boy, Marquand was open right there, but decided to go underneath to Ivo Austin. And Mays was able to step in and pick that one off, Zach, and mark that one down. That keeps Peoria High in the football game here. What a play by Mays.
Wow, and like I said earlier, he has had Marquand Gary's number all night. I think Gary only has 1 reception. He did break through on the play before, but Kyle had his mind already set on Ivo Austin right up the middle, and right after that play, the Ironmen tried to speed things up, but Peoria is not phased at all.
Peoria now the ball in their own 14 and up the middle. Here comes Pollard again. He's got 11 yards. And boy, if Peoria comes back to win this game, mark that play down right there. It looked like the Ironmen were getting ready to put another touchdown on the board and maybe take a sizable lead in this contest. A interception by Darion Mays at the goal line, runs it out to the 14, and now Peoria High has new life here. 5:22 to go, third quarter, 1st and 10 for the Lions at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, the tides have turned here, and Green drops back to pass, and that was a near pick for the Ironman there. Craig Bennett was looking for an interception. Craig Bennett had an interception in week 7 that he returned for a touchdown. He had a pick 6, and he has done a great job this season as we're nearing the playoffs, which is exactly when you want everything to start clicking. So far tonight, everything has clicked for the Ironmen, but that interception definitely brings the momentum back. Peoria goes right up the middle, and
there goes Pollard again over the 45 to the 47-yard line. 22 yards for Pollard. He now has gone over the 100-yard mark for the night. 110 yards on the night for Darion Pollard. And with 5 minutes to go here in the third, we got ourselves a ball game. Off the left side to Webb. Webb kind of weaves into traffic there, picks up 7 on the play, and TQ Webb really hasn't touched the football much since the first quarter. He had a couple of catches. Now the Lions get him the football here once again. Gain of we'll call it 6 yards that time for TQ Webb, and really, Zach, I can't remember him touching the football since quarter number 1.
He is not, and Webb was one of my circle players. He started off the night very well in that first quarter, and then the Ironmen were able to contain him in that very successful second quarter. And now TQ Webb looks to be warming up, and it looks like there's a penalty on the play.
Yeah, legal shift against Peoria, so wipe out the gain there for TQ Webb. It'll be a 1st down and 15 now for Peoria High. 26-12 our score. It looked like the Ironmen were driving for another one a moment ago, but a big interception by Peoria High, and now we're going to get a false start right there against the Lions. And it looks like Jaquarius Green that time jumped offsides for Peoria High. Peoria High has exceptional size on this team up front. Very characteristic for the Lions. They've always had really big offensive lines the last few years, and one of the reasons why they've been so successful. Back the other way now with Rayford. Rayford will be tackled right around the 43-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 7 that time, and the first completion for Breon Green in his last 5 throws.
Yeah, and the Lions are almost back to the original line of scrimmage, and once again, it's been these penalties that have really hurt the Lions all game as they're nearing, if they haven't already, hit double digits on penalties tonight.
2nd down and 14 now as Green has gone over 100 yards passing for the night. Hand off to Jenkins, and he's going to slip that time. Excuse me, that was Kendall Netters there, the senior who slipped on the play, got back to the line of scrimmage. Not much else there. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 14. We'll call it 3rd and 15 as he lost a yard on the play.
One thing the Ironmen are doing very well is switching their personnel on defense. A lot of times they're going with the 5-2 when it looks as though Peoria is going to run, and then Aramis Simmons runs out, and they switch their formation when it looks to be a big pass play like this one.
Green, plenty of time, and he airmails that one off the hands of Amari Branch. Branch was open in the middle of the field, a little bit too high for him. It'll bring up 4th down now for the Lions. 4th and 15 coming up here, and we'll see if they're going to have to go for it. 3:41 on the clock. 3rd quarter, trailing by 2 scores. And, boy, this is a decision right here. You don't get it. You give up great field position. I almost think they're going to need to go for it here, Zach. Normal Community has been very difficult to stop on the offensive end. Green now back to pass, looking downfield, has a man right at the marker. Incomplete on the play, and the Ironmen have held. Normal Community will get the football at the 41-yard line as Breon Greed's pass sailed a little bit wide. But you mentioned it, the penalties were a killer for the Lions on that drive.
Yeah, the penalties were a killer, but also props to that Ironman defense. They have been incredible all year. If we go through some stats from the defense, they have only given up 50 rushing yards a game, only 189 yards a game, and they've only allowed 2 rushing touchdowns and 9 passing touchdowns. And in conference play, have given up 50 points. They've played 7 conference games. So this defense has been amazing for the Ironmen this season.
Yeah, Peoria came in averaging about 52 points per game on the year, and right now sitting at 12. Cole Kretzinger nowhere to go. He bounces to the outside. Let's see if he can find a hole. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe. I think he lost a yard on the play. Well done that time by the Lions. That was Cole Kretzinger's first carry of the night. Kalen Taylor's gone for 10 carries for 46. Kyle Beatty has 6 carries for 14, and Cole now with his first carry of the night. So Peoria High's done a really nice job against the normal community rushing attack.
Yes, they have, and here's Beatty back, gives it off to Taylor.
Taylor now looking for a hole, trying to burst through. He's past the 35 to the 33. Taylor's going to pick up 10 yards, one of his best carries of the entire night, as Peoria has done what Peoria does, clog up the line of scrimmage, play man-to-man defense on the backside, put a ton of pressure on the quarterback, and just bet on the fact that you can't throw it over the top.
Yeah, Kalen Taylor has over 100 total yards on the game tonight with 117 total yards.
Look at all those Lions up right at the line of scrimmage. Nobody back there. No safety help on the backside. 3rd down and 1 here. Let's see if the Ironmen can convert it. Beatty takes the snap. It's Taylor right up the middle. He's gone. Touchdown, Ironmen. 33 yards. Kalen Taylor finds the end zone, his best run of the night. And Zach, when you put everybody up at the line of scrimmage, once he gets past the first line, there is nobody there. And Normal Community has point number 32 of the night. It's 32-12 Ironmen, and they have scored the last 26 points of the game and have now opened up a 3-score lead. Let's see if Will Castro can kick the extra point here to put the Ironmen up 33-12. Remember, Peoria High has that high octane offense. This game not over here as Will Castro's extra point is up, and it is good. 33-12 Normal Community. Kalen Taylor has his first rushing touchdown of the game here tonight as he goes in from 33 yards out.
Yeah, you say it's his first rushing touchdown. It is his 3rd total touchdown. He has nearly 150 total yards, and as we said earlier, he is making this pink out game count, and he is having a statement performance.
33-12, 2:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And I talk about the numbers of Kalen Taylor. We also, though, need to talk about the Normal Community defense. They were reeling after the first couple of drives by Peoria High. The Lions went right down and scored those 2 early touchdowns. But the Normal Community defense has really been solid, Zach, keeping the Lions off the board since the 10-minute mark of the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, the Lions scored 2 touchdowns in about 14 minutes. In the 20 minutes to follow, the Lions have not scored, and the Ironmen have 27 unanswered points. The Ironmen are nearly flipping the script of last week's game that the Lions had when they were down and they scored 30 unanswered. Here, the Ironmen have scored 27 and have a very dominating lead right now.
Now here's our kickoff now by Castro. That's going to find the end zone. And with 2:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter, with the Ironmen up 21 points now, Peoria High will go back on offense. Well, we're hoping for a first-round playoff game next Friday or Saturday. Almost going to guarantee you Zach's going to wear a sweatshirt, if not a coat, next week for the playoffs. Zach, a 3-score lead for the Ironmen. You look like you're nice and warm right now up here in the press box. Why don't you talk about how the third quarter has gone?
Well, the third quarter has gone great for the Ironmen. They went into this third quarter up by 7, and now, just about 10 minutes later, they are up by 21. Their defense has performed. Their offense has performed. And the special teams, as Jace Wilson had a special teams touchdown. And all I can say is the Ironmen have really put it together in all phases of the football game here tonight, and that has led to this commanding lead in the Big 12 championship.
Back to pass now is Green. Far side of the field, got a man wide open right there, and hauling that one in for Peoria High is Spencer Russell. Another big play for Spencer Russell. How about that? 43 yards from Breon Green to Spencer Russell, and a first down for Peoria High. Spencer Russell only has 2 catches tonight, Zach, but 81 total yards and 2 catches.
Yes, he does. You cannot let him loose, because when you do, he gets out. And now Pollard for the run.
Yeah, Pollard on the run inside the 35 to the 31. Gain of 8. He's up to 118 on the night and 1 touchdown. And here come the Lions. Second and 3.
Pollard's 118 yards. How many carries has he had? Because he has had the ball in his hand many times tonight. As Pollard gets it once again, he's got his lineman blocking for him, but it looks like Community's going to stop him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was carry number 23 tonight for Deterion Pollard. You talked about the 39 last week, so that's not an odd number for him, that many carries.
Yeah, he gets the ball quite a bit, and he makes it count too. He's getting about 5 carries, 5 yards per carry, and that's something Community does not usually allow.
Pollard now again off the right side, and the Lions get a nice push. Going to be close to the first down. I think they're going to give it to him. They got him right at the marker here, and looking at the official now.
Might need to bring out the chain gang here.
A couple of yards there for Pollard, and let's see if they are going to bring out the chain gang. No turf field here at Normal Community High School, so, and we are going to, looks like we are going to have a measurement here.
All right, we got an official's timeout, and the chain gang comes out for the first time today.
Let's see if they are bringing the chain gang on. As they're talking to the Normal Community sideline, they might have given him a first down. I'm not exactly sure what exactly is going on. They are going to bring out the chain gang here to measure this one. So Pollard going for a couple of yards there. And I think he's calling them over, and
going through a roller coaster of emotions here. I'm not sure if they're bringing him
There
out
we
or
go.
not.
Yes,
there
they
we
are.
go.
There comes the chain gang.
Chain gang is out and ready to go.
The first time we've seen them so far tonight. You're so used to turf fields now where it's pretty easy to figure out first down and moving the chains, but on the grass field a little bit more difficult here.
Yeah, and I'd like to, as we're going through this chain gang and they're checking to see if the Lions got the first down, I'd like to really bring up the significance of this game. Not only is it the Big 12 championship, it is also Peoria is number 4 in 5A. Community is 7 in 7A. So this is a very big matchup, and it looks like they're bringing it out now. They did change it to 4th down, but they're still bringing out the chain gang to see.
That's going to be
what the
4th and
measurement
inches
is.
here now. So 4th down and inches coming up for Peoria. The Ironmen are going to have to hold them behind the line of scrimmage. Be interesting call here for the Lions. Interesting in that with 35 seconds to go in the third. Obviously, you're probably going to run into the line of scrimmage, but also play action here going over the top would be an interesting call. It would certainly be a gamble, but a shot at the end zone and a quick score without taking any more time off the clock in this situation. You got to think the Lions are going to play power football, but the chains now are resetting there on the far side of the field, and that's the delay we've got.
And we're having lots of delays here. Seems like some confusion, but it looks like we've got it now, and the Lions are going to go for it.
Now we got Green. Green finds a hole, and he does. He's got a first down, makes a move, and Breon Green is going to score a touchdown here, knocked out of bounds. It is a touchdown for the Lions, 29 yards out. Breon Green finds the end zone. Touchdown, Peoria High. His best run of the night right there from 29 out, and the Lions make it 33-18. They'll go for 2 here. A big 2-point conversion as Peoria High right back in the contest.
Yeah, this 2-point conversion would be very pivotal. It would bring the Lions within 13 points here. They're down 33-18, and that was a touchdown that the Lions really needed to get.
Now, we talked about maybe going over the top with a pass. Well, they run it in that time as Green on the keeper, right up the middle, able to bounce it outside then, and able to find the end zone with 20 seconds to go here in the third. We're going to see a 2-point conversion, probably an onside kick then a moment later, and we're not even into the fourth quarter yet. Green trying to get the signal from the sideline here. 20 seconds left here in the third. Green now back to pass. Looks on a slant to the inside, and boy, that pass was well behind the receiver, as Normal Community had it well covered. Well, Peoria High finds the end zone, and with 20 seconds to go in the third, they cut the Ironmen's lead to 33-18. And we'll see now if Peoria High can get a stop. Be interesting to see as well, Zach, for the Ironmen, because Peoria is going to bring so many guys up to the line of scrimmage. Do you try to run the ball to grind the clock out here now as we start moving towards the fourth quarter, or you keep going over the top with those pass plays that have been so successful for them?
Well, first the Ironmen have to be able to receive this football, because these onside kicks are what gets Peoria back in the game. It's what got Peoria back in the game against Bloomington last week. 2 years ago against the Ironmen, when Peoria took down Community by 34 points, they recovered 5 of their onside kicks. That is the first step for Community, and once they reach that point, I do think that you run the ball out. There's just about 12 minutes left in the ball game. Since there's 20 seconds left in this third quarter, you have a commanding lead. So if they're able to get this ball back, I would run it out.
Now here we go. There's the pooch kick now. It's going to be a little bit short. It is a live football picked up by Cole Kretzinger. He was just stumbled that time at the 40. Zach, if I think he keeps his feet, he's still running. Oh, Cole Kretzinger just about had an opportunity to break that one long, but Normal Community will settle for really good field position at their own 45-yard line.
Yeah, Kretzinger is showing a lot of glimpses of promise. He's doing a great job on special teams, returning that ball. He's also done a great job running this year behind Kalen Taylor. He has a couple touchdowns on the season, has seen many successful games, along with last week's 74 yards on just 4 carries. Next year, expect to see a lot from Kretzinger. He is going to be a key player for the Ironmen.
One local score to note, 3 minutes ago, third quarter, Bloomington leads Champaign Centennial 21-12. So the Raiders trying to get to 7-2. Peoria Richwoods lost to Mahomet Seymour earlier today, 42-13 the final. Beatty now back to pass. Marquand Gary's open. Marquand is through his hands. He got turned around on the play and couldn't quite haul it in. And again, that would have probably been a touchdown right there, as it's going to be 2nd and 10 now, as Marquand Gary just came open at the last moment and just couldn't quite haul that ball in.
Yeah, and I don't really think that one was overthrown. It was more just a very confusing one to catch, as he kind of had to turn his body and turn around. So I think that's something. Kyle Beatty earlier, he overthrew Marquand Gary, and then he ended up throwing that interception that was just slightly underthrown. That one was pretty much on the money, which is a good sign for Beatty.
Here's a handoff off the right side, up the middle. I do believe that was Kalen Taylor that is in that sea of players down there. Cole Kretzinger got the carry, going to pick up about 4 yards on the play. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 here, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. 3 quarters down. We've got ourselves a ball game. Normal Community 33, Peoria High 18. Zach, 1 quarter to go.
Yep, 1 quarter to go, and let's go through those scoring plays of the third quarter. It started right away. It was an onside kick by Peoria, and Jace Wilson was all over it. He was able to get about 45-yard return touchdown, and the extra point was good, putting Community up 26-12. That was a very notable play and a huge one for the Ironmen. Then, after that, the Ironmen looked to score again, but Peoria was able to intercept the ball. Darion Mays was able to intercept the ball with 5:35 as the Ironmen were nearing the red zone. But Community stopped Peoria, and then on their next drive was able to get a touchdown, putting them up by 21 points. Kalen Taylor had his third of the game, and Peoria just scored with 20 seconds left in the third quarter on a 29-yard QB rush, making the score 33-18. Where we are right now as Kyle Beatty drops back to pass.
Setting up a screen to the middle. They got Kretzinger. Kretzinger's got the 50. Cole's got the 40. He's got open field. He is going to score. Cole Kretzinger, touchdown, Ironmen. Cole Kretzinger from 52 yards out, and they caught the Lions in the blitz again. And Kyle Beatty did a great job waiting and waiting and waiting, and just the right time dumps that pass off, and Cole Kretzinger does the rest. 52 yards for the touchdown, and Normal Community goes up 39-18 with 11:48 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Kyle Beatty showed a tremendous amount of patience there. The line was coming at him. There was about 4 players going blitz right at Kyle Beatty, and he waited until the last second to throw that ball, perfectly timed, and Kretzinger just took off, showing his capabilities. That extra point's good. It's a 22-point lead for the Ironmen, 40-18, and what a ball game from the Ironmen. They are on fire on in all facets of the game.
Couple inner-city scores for you. U-High is leading Landfair 70-6. That is a fourth quarter score. And Prairie Central leads Bloomington Central Catholic 20-14. That game being played right down Airport Road tonight in the third quarter. And Zach, you want to talk about the 7A poll in the IHSA, and boy, Mount Carmel's number 1 again, Zach.
Yes, that is not surprising. Mount Carmel's number 1, but I'd like to point out the record is 6-2. And IHSA does not only cares about record in seeding, so Mount Carmel will not be seeded very high in the playoffs.
And they've got Loyola this week, so they could be 6-3. We'll see.
Yep, and then number 2 is Quincy, 3 is Batavia. Downers Grove North is sitting at 4, as they have recently lost a game. St. Charles North is at 5, St. Rita at 6. Your Normal Community Ironmen at 7. Brother Rice is sitting at 8, Edwardsville at 9, and Bradley Bourbonnais, a familiar name for some Community fans. This Community eked out a win against them last year by 1 point after stopping them on a 2-point conversion. They are at number 10, and we start looking to the 7A playoffs. Those are some teams to keep an eye on.
Kyle Beatty now 141 yards through the air tonight, coming off that 242-yard passing performance last week against Champaign Centennial. Melvin Jenkins again across the 25 to the 28-yard line. The 7A playoff pairings will come out tomorrow night. It'll probably be maybe 9 o'clock-ish or so by the time they get to 7A with the pairings, and so we'll see where the Ironmen land. The hard part for the 7A teams, a 6-3 Mount Carmel team, is probably going to go on the road in the first round and probably play a team that's got about an 8-1 record, somewhere right around in there. So that's kind of where you look at where if they were to finish 6-3, that's the hard part about a 6-3 Mount Carmel team if they were to lose to Loyola next week, and Zach kind of knows what I'm talking about. So there is an incompletion there on first down for Breon Green. Obviously, the Caravan could see a number of teams in the first round of the playoffs, but that's just kind of the way the IHSA does it. With a 6-3 team, they're probably going to play somebody who is right around an 8-1 record in round number 1.
And if you do have a team that is able to win that state championship, you believe that has put in all that work, if you meet Mount Carmel in the first round and you're really capable of that, that's okay if you can take them down.
Here to the outside, pass for the Lions and about a 4-yard gain, and That's going to be out to Spencer Russell. That's his third catch of the night, and by far the lowest number of yards he's got. The catches that he had before that were 38 yards and a touchdown, 43 yards, and now his fifth catch goes for 5. Third down and 5 now. Clock at 11:10 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Ironmen lead 40-18.
Yeah, and his 43-yard reception was not a touchdown, but Peoria did score on that drive.
And now over to the far side of the field with a catch right there is Spencer Russell again. And now Breon Green has converted his last couple of passes here. Kellen Augston was able to make the tackle for the Ironmen. So two straight connections between Green and Russell. Russell now close to 100 yards receiving on the night, 4 catches for 96. Breon Green now, nowhere to go. He lost the football, and the Ironmen are on it. Normal Community's got the fumble at the 37-yard line. The Ironmen pick up the fumble, and now they are in Peoria High territory. Turnover for the Lions.
And that is what the Ironmen are great at doing. They love to force a turnover. That is now 7 in the last 3 weeks, as this season has entered the end, and we're going into the playoffs and going into that second season really in the playoffs. Community has really ramped up their defense, and it has just been remarkable.
Yeah, we'll see now if they do try to do a little bit more ground and pound here. 10:33 to go in the fourth quarter. If they keep the football on the ground and try to grind this clock out and put away the Lions here tonight, Peoria, one of the better comeback teams in the state with the way they play. That ball well behind Michael Mavick there from Kyle Beatty, as Michael Mavick has 1 catch for 5 yards tonight. Kyle with an incompletion right there, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Mavick has had a great season. He had a touchdown last week. He's had a few on the season. It looks like he has had 8 receptions for 135 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has actually been the wide receiver 2 in the second half of the season behind Marquand Gary.
Beatty went over 1,000 yards passing last week, over 1,100 on the season. 10:29 for the fourth. Now over the top. Oh, and Marquand Gary was open, as again the pass rush was coming hot and heavy right there. Kyle had to dump that pass off maybe about 1 second before he wanted to right there, and well defended that time by the Lions. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. So I had mentioned the ground and pound, Zach. Obviously not what the Ironmen have decided to do. They're really taking what Peoria has given them, and those are the shots over the top. The Lions crowd the line of scrimmage, and we've seen it a couple times where Normal Community's gotten behind their defense and made them pay.
Yeah, the Ironmen are trying to break through here in a big way. Kalen Taylor is going straight up the middle. He's got a few yards.
And not much there. He's still on his feet, though, pushing for positive yardage. He's getting closer to that 1st down marker. He had 3. He ends up with 6 on the play. And now he's closing in on 100 yards for the night. Normal Community now 4th down and about 4 here. 10 minutes to go in the contest. The Ironmen lead 40-18 over Peoria High, looking for an outright Big 12 title. It would be the 5th time in 7 years that Normal Community has claimed the Big 12 championship in an outright form.
Yeah, not only does Taylor have 95 rushing yards, he has 61 receiving yards. So Taylor has really done it all tonight with over 150 total yards and 3 touchdowns. Kyle Beatty
now back to pass, finds Marquand Gary at the 30. Marquand trying to cut it back. He is going to be very close to the 1st down. I'm not sure he got it right there, Zach, as he needed to get to the 28. I do believe he got to the 28. It is going to be really, really close. And we'll see if we're going to see the chain gang again right here. The officials have made no indications at all.
The chain gang's moving. I think this is going to be a 1st down.
And I think you're right. It is a 1st down there. So Normal Community picks up the 1st down. A completion to Marquand Gary. And it'll be 1st and 10 now. Clock down to 9 minutes to go in the game. The Ironmen with a comfortable 22-point lead, if you can be comfortable against Peoria High.
Yeah, I don't think there's really ever a point where you're completely comfortable, but if they're able to get a touchdown here and it is then a 4-possession ball game, the Ironmen do have to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it's a Peoria High team that put one touchdown on the board here in the second half as Cole Kretzinger really nowhere to go right there. And again, they put so many guys up at the line of scrimmage, Zach. The plays that are open are the ones over the top, but when you have a 3-score lead, you want to run the ball and run this clock out. So I think the Ironmen are just going to have to take what Peoria is given, and which is going to be the passes over the top, and we'll see if they can put another score on the board.
Yeah, and if I had to bet, I would say the Ironmen are going to look for Marquand Gary. He's had 2 receptions here tonight for just 6 yards, while the last 2 weeks before this, he had 10 receptions for a total of 177 yards and has had a touchdown in both of those games.
Yeah, Marquand has been close. There's no doubt about that here, and we'll see if Kyle can find him on this play. Under 8 we go. Kyle rolls out. Got a man downfield. He's going to find, it's going to be Mavick that time for a first down. As a pick, that's going to get past the original line of scrimmage. My fault on that right there. A pickup of 6 yards on the play on the completion. Cole Kretzinger had lost 5 yards on first down. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 here for the Ironmen. And they're just going to let that clock run down to 7:25 now to go in the contest. Normal Community leads Peoria High 40-18.
There's just a substitution. A.J. Montoya came into the game. He saw a 21-yard rushing touchdown last week. It's going to be interesting how the Ironmen will utilize him here. Michael Mavick just ran off the field.
7:06 now for the contest. A.J. Montoya trying to turn the corner, trying to find that first down marker, and I think he got run out of bounds. I do believe he's going to be short. That is his first carry of the night.
Yeah, A.J. Montoya is very speedy despite his size. A.J. Montoya is listed at 6 foot, 225 pounds. He is an absolute unit, but he has a lot of speed and is a very important part of Community's defense as well as offense. He's utilized as a running back, and last week he was very successful.
It's going to bring up a 4th down and 4 here now for the Ironmen. Montoya did go out of bounds. That was the only problem for the Ironmen there, as they want to try to run this clock out, and we are going to get a timeout here now for Normal Community. The play clock was down to 1 second. So, Zach, a 4th and 4 here for the Ironmen. Peoria again stacking the line of scrimmage. Do you take the shot over the top? You got to be thinking that's got to be the conversation right now in that huddle for Normal Community.
You take the shot. I would take the shot most definitely. It hasn't really quite clicked with Marquand Gary, but we've seen it click 2 other times where it got converted to a touchdown. That shot over the top to Kalen Taylor and Cole Kretzinger. It's been a play that has worked all night for the Ironmen, and I say they must go for that again if it is open. And you also always have the option for a Kyle Beatty run, who saw some success earlier on in the game. So if I'm the Ironmen, I'm looking for that short little pass right over the middle.
Well, the Ironmen now going with a couple of tight ends out there. Kalen Taylor is in the slot on the far side. And a handoff to A.J. Montoya, and the big man trying to find that first down marker, and he won't. A gain of 1 on the play, and that will turn the football back over to Peoria High. And you have to remember, now Peoria High down by 3 scores, 22. It's a majorly steep slope to climb, but a team that might be one of the better onside kicking teams in the state, if not the best. This game's still not over here, and also a team that can score very quickly. So Normal Community has to be careful here. 6:51 to go in the 4th. A comfortable lead right now for the Ironmen, but still Peoria High, with the way they play, could find themselves back in the game very quickly.
Yeah, last week the Lions scored 22 points in 2 minutes and 58 seconds.
Well,
and they're down
example.
by 22 right now, and there's 6 minutes and 51 seconds left on the clock. So this game, although the score looks like it's over, it's far from over if the Lions can get a score here.
All right, Breon Green is back to pass. He's looking deep. It's going to be a little bit too far that time, as that was TQ Webb that he was looking for, as Breon Green has 163 yards passing so far tonight, as the Lions now with a 2nd down and 10, trying to just stay in the ball game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Webb was able to get loose there, but the ball was just a little bit overthrown, which is something we've seen from Green. He's just a junior.
There is up the middle. That's Netters right there across the 40 to the 43. And he'll be tackled right there. Gain of 23 yards by Kendall Netters. And that was his best run of the night. He's now got 4 carries for 30 yards.
Yeah, Netters he's shown some glimpses of being very successful, and I think he'll be a really important player for this Peoria team when it comes to the playoffs.
Green now back to pass. His first option was not open. He is going to take off, and he'll find the sideline to be able to stop the clock. That becomes the most important part right now for the Lions, is trying to keep that clock from moving. Normal community would love to see that clock fly along, but still 6:19 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, the Lions can score quick in a hurry, but they can also do the opposite, as they chewed up nearly 6 minutes of clock on their first drive in this ball game.
Handoff around the outside to Webb, trying to be chased down by the Ironman defense. A nice job by Normal Community. Boy, Frankowiak was back there. Also, Lashley did a nice job getting TQ Webb to the sideline. We'll give Webb a gain of 2, as that was his 2nd carry. The first time he had a carry, it was wiped out by penalty. So his first positive yardage of the contest. 3rd down and 5 now here for the Lions. The ball at their own 47-yard line. Hand off to Pollard. Pollard still moving ahead. Finally tackled across the 50 to the 49. And he might have gotten to the 48, actually. So give him a gain of 4. He's now at 125 yards on the evening. 4th down and 1 now for Peoria High. The clock goes under 6 minutes to go here in the contest.
Yeah, the Ironmen have Marquand Gary and Kalen Taylor in the secondary. They're playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they sure are. And now Green still has it. Boy, they just about had him in the backfield. We'll see if they can hold him short of the first down, and they cannot. Green's going to pick up a first down, a gain of about 5 yards. Boy, it looked like the Ironmen had Breon Green in the backfield. They could not bring him down. A first down for the Lions. Clock now at 5:31 to go in the contest, and that clock will get moving as the chains move, and we got an injury for Normal Community.
I said it once and I'll say it again about Breon Green, something that Drangwood said. He can run, and just when you think you've got him caged up, he's going to squirt out and make a play with his feet, and he does it once again on really a game-defining drive right there that they need to get that first down.
The Lions have 214 yards on the ground tonight, so they have run the ball effectively. Normal Community has been a little bit of bend but don't break defense, because Peoria's really put up some yardage against them tonight. We'll talk about the numbers once the game is done, but they have 163 in the air and over 200 on the ground, but only 18 points on the scoreboard so far. They're probably going to outgain the Ironmen in total yardage this evening, but Normal Community leads 40-18. Pollard in the middle. He's going to be tackled after a gain of about 3 yards on the play, but that clock continues to run, and we're getting down to the 5-minute mark in the game.
Yeah, as that clock continues to run, Peoria does not really seem anxious to really go very fast here, which is something they had been doing all game. They had a very fast tempo. Here they kind of take their time, and over 20 seconds have been erased on the clock. We're at 4:50 here.
Yeah, Brandon Woods was actually the last player to run the football for the Ironmen, as Breon Green will go out of bounds. We've got a flag at the 40-yard line. We'll see if this one's going to come back here against Peoria. Usually a holding area, and that's what we've got, a hold against the Lions. So that will bring that back 10 yards to the 50-yard line. 4:42 now to go in the contest, and Normal Community leading 40-18.
A shout out to the Ironmen and how disciplined they've been this season, especially as we reach the playoffs. In the last 2 weeks, including this one, the Ironmen have only had 2 penalties, and that is something that you need to have when you come to those playoffs. Those little mistakes can completely change a game.
Yeah, the margin for error for Normal Community will definitely be slimmer come playoff time, as handoff off to the left side that time for Peoria. That was Melvin Jenkins who got the carry right there. He picked up a couple yards on the play. It's going to bring up a third down here, and about 13 for the Lions here. Clock down to 4:15 now to go in the contest. And as you mentioned, Zach, Peoria High doesn't seem to be in a huge hurry, just trying to get everybody up at the line of scrimmage. But that clock slowly but surely starting to dwindle down on the Lions.
I'm really shocked that they're not in a hurry here. The play clock is down to 8, now 7, now 6. At 5, they snap it.
Breon Green now, and that pass is incomplete.
It's an interesting approach from the Lions here. We've seen, as I said earlier, a lot of fast tempo from them, especially earlier on in this contest. And when it comes to this part of the game, when you're down by 3 scores and there's less than 4 minutes, that's when you really want to go fast most of the time. But I think the Lions are really making sure that they're lined up formationally and they're getting the looks that they want offensively.
Peoria High was in the state championship game in Class 5A in 2016 and 2022. As Breon Green back to pass over the middle, he's got his man for a first down. How about the catch right there? Spencer Russell again able to haul that one in. That's going to be a pickup of 17 yards. Spencer Russell now 113 yards receiving on the night. He's had a terrific night for the Lions, and he's got 113 of the 180 passing yards by Breon Green. So first down for Peoria High.
Yeah, Russell's been the man this week offensively for the Lions. I think that changes almost every week. Last week it was Pollard running the football, and 2 weeks prior it was their quarterback, Breon Green.
Back to pass now, Green looking over the top. That pass is well behind the receiver. I do believe TQ Webb was the intended receiver that time. And it's going to bring up now a second down and 10 for Peoria High. 3:19 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they're not in a rush again, but this time the clock is stopped so they can take as much time as the play clock allows, as we're down to 20 seconds, and the Lions look to be getting up formationally and ready to go.
You got 3 timeouts left as well, so a handoff to Jenkins. He is going nowhere that time. Yeah, big play in the middle of the field by Winton Carlock.
Winton Carlock has been just very dominant this season. He had a huge sack against Bloomington, and he has been very hard for the other team to stop this entire season. And he didn't get to play a lot last season, and this year has seen time every single game.
Up the middle now is Jenkins. He's got a first down and more, as he's going to be all the way down to right around the 15-yard line. Jenkins with his best run of the night by far. 2:43 now to go. The Lions seem to be in a bit more of a hurry now. 40-18 our score. Normal Community leads. And the clock now getting down to 2.5 minutes to go in the game. As I said, it looked like the Lions were in a little bit more of a hurry, but now delayed at the line of scrimmage here. And Zach, they have taken a ton of time off this clock on this particular drive.
Yeah, I can't describe how surprised I am that they've taken this much time off.
Yeah, Breon Green back to pass, looking in the end zone. It's going to be too far out in front of the receiver right there. And incomplete. Clock stops at 2:16 now to go in the ball game.
And Kalen Taylor was all over that. I mentioned it previously that Taylor and Gary are playing on both sides of the ball, something that we see a lot of when we get into the playoffs. And I think in this type of big game, it's the Big 12 championship, really pivotal game for the Ironmen. It's great to have both of these players playing on both sides the whole entire contest.
Ball goes up the middle now, and I do believe that might have been Jenkins again. No, Brandon Woods. We saw Brandon Woods a couple moments ago, and now we're going to get a penalty flag that's going to come in. It looks like Woods got a couple of yards there. We'll see where they mark it here, and we'll see what the call is. As a couple players, the Ironmen and the Lions, got tangled up that time. We're still waiting for the down marker to move, as we'll see what the call is from the official here.
Yeah, the flag was all the way in the end zone.
And a personal foul against Normal Community. It's the second time we've seen that from the Ironmen tonight. That's going to cost them, as it'll be half the distance to the goal line. So we'll see if Peoria High can punch it in. 40-18 our score. 2:04 to go here in the ball game. The Lions look for their 4th touchdown of the night. High snap now. Breon Green looking for the end zone. That ball is incomplete. And with exactly 2 minutes now to go, it'll be 4th down here now for the Lions.
The Iron at the start of this have really ramped up their offense since the start of the season. They gave up 26 to Kankakee and haven't given up more than 18 here tonight since. And it's also kind of been how the defense was this whole game for the Ironmen, as they started off the first 2 drives from the Lions getting a score, and since then there's only been 1 score from the Lions, and Community has been all over it defensively, whether it's the line or the secondary, not allowing Peoria to score.
4th down now for Peoria. Green rolls out, looking for a man, had a man open, now looking for the first down marker. It's going to be close here. We'll see where they mark him. And it looks like he's going to be a little bit short. And the Ironmen are going to get off the field again as Breon Green with a 2-yard gain. But Peoria will not find the end zone. And with 1:52 now to go in the ball game, Normal Community with that 22-point lead. And it certainly looks like the Ironmen are going to be the Big 12 Conference champions outright in the 2024 football season.
Yeah, there are 3 timeouts left for the Lions, so Community cannot just take a knee every time, as the Lions could just take a timeout there. So they will still have to run up some plays here if they want to run the clock out. Just real quick, I can go through the Big 12 standings. Community is atop and should stay atop after this game. Peoria Lions behind them. Bloomington Raiders are right behind them, and Normal West also at 5-2 along with the Raiders. Those are all ranked teams in the AP poll. Bloomington number 13 and West is number 16. So 2 very successful teams, and the Lions were number 4 in the 5A poll. We have yet another flag here.
Bloomington leads Champaign Centennial 8 minutes to go in that contest, 35-20 the score there. That's the only Big 12 score we've got. Muhammad Seymour beat Rich Woods 42-13 was the final score in that one.
Yeah, Richwoods is now 2-7 near the bottom, along with Peoria Manual and the winless Urbana. Then it's Champaign Central in front of them, Danville, Centennial, and then P&D.
Prairie Central beat Bloomington Central Catholic tonight 20-14, as like we had a play run right up the middle. That was Cole Kretzinger, and not a whole lot of yardage there for Cole. So Prairie Central is going to find themselves in the playoffs. They needed that win in order to be able to get in, and the Hawks got it. So they beat Bloomington Central Catholic. The Saints will go into the playoffs at 5-4, and so will Prairie Central, a big one. Pontiac got their first win tonight. They go to 1-8 on the season. They beat Civic Memorial, so congratulations to the Indians getting their first win of the season.
The Lions are not calling a timeout here. The clock has dwindled down to nearly a minute, and it looks like Community will be the outright Big 12 champions for the 5th time in 7 years.
Here's a handoff to the right side, and that's football there for Normal Community. And Kalen Taylor got the carry right there for the Ironmen. And picked up a gain of about 4 yards, and that puts Kalen right at about 99 for the night. And he might be right there, and I do believe Kalen might have hurt his left leg as he's going to come limping off to the sideline. Hopefully he's okay, as Normal Community is certainly going to need him next week, as they will start their trek in the 7A playoffs. Well, they're gonna run another play here now. Beatty takes the snap. Up the middle is Kretzinger, and Cole is... Oh, the ball came free, and Peoria's got it. And I do believe they ran it back to the 1-yard line, Zach. Well, how about that? So with 7 seconds to go, Peoria now knocking on the door to try to find the end zone here, as that was quite a turn of events there, as Peoria's got the football. with 7 seconds to go.
You know, I've never seen a 22-point comeback in 7 seconds.
Yeah, and certainly not going to happen here, but the lowest number of points Peoria has scored this year was 18. That was against Normal West earlier in the year. Kind of funny when you look at their scores. They scored 18 against West, and then their second lowest number of the entire season was 44. So that was kind of the anomaly game a little bit for them on the offensive end. West has a good defense, a really good defense, holding Peoria to 18, and now the Lions will try to go over that, which is probably our last play of the game. They're going to try to punch it in here. I think their offense wasn't quite ready to come on the field. They kind of thought, well, this game is over, but here they are now on the field trying to punch it in. 7 seconds to go in the contest as they try to get everybody on the field, and we will have, I do believe, a penalty. I think there was 12 players in the huddle there for Peoria High, so back them up 5 yards, and now it just gets a little bit harder.
Yeah, and the win against West was 20-18, and it was at Normal West. A big factor in that game was there were wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, and the Lions couldn't really get anything going offensively as they only had 18 points. Same with tonight. Pollard also said that he was struggling with an injury and he wasn't at full strength, but still props to West. They've really turned their season around. They had a slow start. They're now 5-2 in conference. If they win tonight, they'll be 6-2.
And a drop snap now, and I do believe that is going to do it. The ball game is going to end. They didn't start the clock, though. That's a problem. There we go. Now the clock has started, and I do believe Peoria High is going to let it run, and that is it. Normal Community is the Big 12 Conference champions here, as Normal Community wins the conference. They win the Big 12. 40-18 with the win over Peoria High. And Zach, 5 times in 7 years now, the Ironmen are outright Big 12 champions. And congratulations to Coach Renwitz and the Ironmen.
Yeah, 5 in the last 7, and now they get to add a number to that conference titles over there under the Big N. Instead of 25, it will now be 26 for the Ironmen. A quick analysis of what I saw tonight. Offensively for the Ironmen, I saw a multifaceted team. They were able to see success in the passing game with 3 passing touchdowns, 1 to Gary, a couple to Kalen Taylor, and then running the ball. Kretzinger had a touchdown. Taylor had a touchdown rushing it as well, and the last touchdown for the Ironmen was from Jace Wilson on a special teams play. So once again, we have a game where the Ironmen score on special teams off of running the ball and passing the ball, which is crucial as we enter the playoffs. Now defensively for the Iron, they held the Peoria Lions to 18 points, which is tied for the lowest amount of points this strong offense has scored this season. Like Joel said, it was 44 was their second before this, and now as West also held them to 18, with the win being a factor, this is the tied for the lowest scoring game for Peoria, and it all started with Community's line being able to pressure Green immediately and not really giving him a whole lot of time, and it also came from a great secondary, although in the beginning of the game, when the Lions had their second touchdown, it was a receiving touchdown. Ever since then, the secondary for Community was able to lock in and really didn't let the Lions get much going. And there were a lot of throws that were thrown to the sidelines because it was too well covered. And that's exactly what you want to see from Community, especially in such a high-stakes performance.
Yeah, certainly Normal Community gets the win tonight. Our totals tonight, Peoria had a 413 total yards, Zach, 237 on the ground, 180 in the air, but only 18 points on the board. Normal Community, 270 total yards for the Ironmen, 152 in the air, 118 on the ground, but Normal Community picks up the victory 40-18 tonight. Peoria got off to a nice start. They led 6-0. The Ironmen tied it at 6. The Lions went up 12-6 early in the second quarter, but Normal Community then got the last 2 scores of the half and led 26-12 as 19-12 at half, but then Jace Wilson returned a kickoff for a touchdown, making it 26-12 Normal Community. They were able to extend that lead to 33-12 late in the third quarter. Peoria High made it 33-18, but the Ironmen pull away 40-18, the final score in this one. Normal Community gets the victory. Well, the Ironmen will be at home for the first round of the playoffs, almost a guarantee right now at 8-1, and we will be bringing you that game on the Ink Spot next week. We're hoping for a Friday night. You never know. It might be Friday night, might be Saturday. Who knows? But we'll be bringing you that game on the Ink Spot. Well, that's going to wrap things up here from Normal Community tonight, as the Ironmen are the Big 12 Conference champions here in the 2024 football season, as they're able to knock off Peoria High here this evening by the final score of 40-18. The Ironmen able to extend a one-touchdown halftime lead and get all the way to a 40-18 victory. Our crew tonight, Bella Green, Malachi McCool, and Lenore Rivas did a great job behind the scenes, and of course Mr. Brad Bovenkirk running the show here this evening. It's been great bringing you Ironman football action here on the Ink Spot. We'll have a playoff game for you next week. Once again, our final score, Normal Community beats Peoria High 40-18. The Ironmen are the conference champions in the Big 12. For Zach Knox-Doyle, I'm Joel Swanson saying so long from Dick Tharp Field.